One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
It is wrong to somehow suggest that an undocumented immigrant is a criminal. Being an undocumented immigrant is not a crime.
I know what a crime looks like.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal, and we have to correct course in this conversation.
We're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the border as criminals. That's correct.
I'm done.
Okay, so they're not criminals. No, that's what she just said. Let me just put that back so we can have her face up there. She says they're not criminals. And as I told you yesterday, if you guys were watching, I told you I was going to put up that CNN-style billboard on the top so you can all be reminded constantly of how undocumented newcomers are not criminals, except for the 13,099 murderers, the 15,811 bad guy to women people, and the 425,000 current convicts, with 222,000 still waiting adjudication. So her statement there for the last 45 seconds is full of crap, because maybe not all, but a really good portion of them, enough to where that's what you've been doing for the last 4 years, is basically treasonous. You've committed treason on America. Your number one job, the number one job of the President and Vice President of the United States, is to protect Americans. And I'm pretty sure every American, Democrat and Republican, if you ask them straight up, should we be allowing hundreds and thousands of criminals into America, it would be overwhelmingly hell no. I'm sure some of the Democrats would probably lie and say, it's not that bad. We've had worse here. They're not all bad. Come on, man. Who you kidding? Who you kidding? I mean, let's call it like we see it. You're full of it, and you'll do anything to anybody, regardless if it hurts them or not, just so the orange man doesn't become president again. But unfortunately for her, she's in trouble. And she's in a lot of trouble. And she can't get her way out of it. She can't extricate herself. She's mired in this, and none of the media propping up and the propaganda is helping her with this issue. I'm going to show you some things that are going to blow you away, but the reason I'm putting this out here is I'm almost positive that Trump is going to talk about that today at this rally. He has to. He has to hammer this home because the media is trying every way from Sunday to obfuscate and tell us it's not that bad. Let's carry on with this.
Documented across the border as criminals. That's correct.
I'm done. I'm out. I've heard enough. I object on every level I have inside of me to object. If you vote for that as president, then you deserve what you're going to get. I do not deserve it. The people who are going to vote for Trump do not deserve it.
I don't deserve it. I'm pretty sure you don't deserve it. There's nobody I know that deserves what she has done to America. Nobody. And I'll even say that to the libnuts who won't admit it themselves. You don't deserve it either. There's no way that you deserve to have hundreds and thousands of criminals, many of them vicious criminals, coming into your neighborhoods. You don't deserve it. I'm pretty sure you didn't sign up for it in 2020.
It's a calamity how dumb this person is, and that she's been placed in this position by her party, by Fiat, without anybody. There are smart people in the Democrat Party. Yeah. She's just not one of them. They weren't allowed to run either when he was seeking to be renominated or once he got cooed right out of office. They elevated her for all the same DEI nonsense principles. They put her in the vice presidency, not to mention the AG position, probably the Senate position, and certainly the DA position that led to this path in the first place. She's not a smart person. That is on display every time she sits down for an interview.
I know.
Okay, so Megan went hard on that one. Megan knew she had to go hard because Kamala Harris at this point is an absolute train wreck. I had tweeted something earlier when I said she was toast. And now after what's happened in the last 48 hours, I'm just going to tell you, she's burnt toast. I mean, like, singed. Toss it out. Put it in the garbage disposal. Done. I'm going to do a special broadcast tonight. I want you guys to tune in at 7 o'clock. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are going to just basically tear this woman apart. It is called She Has Been Embarrassed. Kamala Harris was embarrassed by Trump, Kid Rock, Bocephus, Herschel Walker, and a couple other dignitaries at the Alabama-Georgia football game last night that she tried to do some stupid stuff with in terms of advertising, which I will show you. But join me at 7 o'clock p.m. tonight because that is going to be an awesome show. You guys, if you haven't seen some of this stuff, you're just going to be shocked. She's done. I'm telling you, stick a fork in her. She's burnt toast. There's no way she's coming back. Now, before I get into everything about the rest of this, I want to post something that Trump said, being that today is Sunday. Hopefully everybody made it to church before this rally, but this is something he posted today. St. Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our defense against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him. We humbly pray, and do thou, O Prince of the heavenly hosts, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all of the evil spirits who prowl about the world seeking to ruin of souls. Amen. I'm just going to leave it there. I just want you guys to read that in your own time. Maybe take a minute of contemplation and just think about, this is the man running for president who's been shot at twice, who has Iranian assassination attempts coming after him, assassins. And this is what he posted on a Sunday morning that for everyone to see, for everyone in the world to see. Kind of makes you think, right? Kind of makes you think on this Sunday, wherever you are. Today it's bright and sunny here in South Florida, that there are evil spirits running around right now in America. There's always been evil spirits, but now these evil spirits are wreaking havoc. If you're a praying person, I urge you to pray, because these evil spirits have now surfaced within our own government. They may have been there for quite some time, but now the light's shining, the roaches are running, and we're in big trouble. And I think Donald Trump finally realized it. I don't know what his religious convictions were before July 13th, but it's obvious at this point, this man realizes, I can't do this alone. I need the help of God and the Holy Spirit, because we are facing an energy, we are facing an entity that is strong, that is hell-bent on destroying America. And it's not just one person. It's not just Kamala. It's not just the media. There is a force that is right now working to take down America, to change your very way of life, to hurt your family, to starve your family, to invade our country. If you can't see all of the different things that are happening at one point in our time, then you're not really paying attention. And I'm not going to go into the doomsday stuff, because he's probably going to take care of that at 2 o'clock. I'm sure he's going to bring it up all over again. I'm just saying, today is Sunday, and, you know, we all go to church and we pray, but it's starting to take on a different meaning. It's starting to take where people have to just face what we're up against. This is purely evil. I mean, pure evil.
The importance of safety and security, especially at our border.
Who really is Kamala Harris? She's been telling us her entire career.
I support our sanctuary law.
The illegal immigrant deported multiple times who stands accused of killing Kate Steinle.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
Every time. Also have the courage to reject that term illegal alien.
Are you aware that there's a perception?
Do you know?
Are you aware that there's a
that
perception?
Puts ICE in the same category as the KKK. Is that what you're asking me? Abolish ICE.
Yeah. Is that a position that you agree with?
And we need to probably think about starting from scratch. We're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the border as criminals. I am opposed to any policy that would deny any human being public health, period.
Could you be committing to close immigration detention centers? Absolutely, on day one.
How come she hasn't applied consequences the last 3.5 years? 10 million illegal encounters, 2 million gotaways, 600% increase in sex trafficking, more terrorists coming across the border, a record number of people off the terrorist watch list, and over
2 million gotaways. So these numbers on the side here, where you see 13,000 murderers and bad guys against women and convicts, those are the ones we know about. The gotaways, we don't even know how many of that 2 million plus gotaways. We don't know how many bad guys were in that number. So this 13,000, 16,000, 425,000 is probably low. It is probably quite conservative in terms of the number of evildoers she has let into this country.
250,000 Americans dead to fentanyl that comes across the border. Consequences, there will be consequences for her failure.
We have a secure border. The border is secure.
Sickening new details about the murder of Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. The 22-year-old was beaten to death with a mystery object.
We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't.
Kamala Harris. Do you trust her to stop the invasion?
No.
We do ask her about that, but I want to say Mary Bruce.
All right, so now this is Martha Raddatz, a known Trump hater. She can't stand Trump, and she's almost throwing up on herself at this point, because she's out there on ABC News this morning trying to defend Kamala Harris. And she's going to talk to this guy, and one of the senators, I forget his name, and she's going to talk to him and say, well, Kamala's going to fix everything. Here's what she's going to do. Now,
Bruce just reported that Harris announced down there on the border several immigration policies she'd pursue as president, barring immigrants who illegally cross the border from re-entering the country for 5 years, enacting stricter criminal penalties for repeat offenders. Do you oppose those policies?
No, none of us oppose those policies. We're saying she's full of it. If she was going to do all that, why didn't she already do it? You don't need a bill. You don't need any act of Congress. The president, Dementia Joe, could do it today. They could have done it any time within the last 4 years. And now Martha Raddatz is trying to ask this guy, you know, do you oppose this? I'm like, it's not a matter of opposition. We just don't believe her.
I'm going to tell you, do we believe her now? After she's had almost 4 years to solve the border crisis, and all she did was make sure that it was wide open. She never even bothered to go to the border until just this past week. And that's because this is one of the #1 issues in the campaign.
See, she spent all of her time and basically all of her money talking about Project 2025, and then, of course, the Trump baby removal ban. Those were her top issues. That's what she wanted to talk about. Tomorrow night, big show at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, where I'm going to be talking about, we're going to call it Independence Day. Independence TS, not Independence like 4th of July. I'm going to go through all of the top issues in this election as measured by a number of different pollsters. What are the top issues that Americans care about? I'm going to go through them, every single one of them, from the perspective of an independent. I know how you feel. I know how I feel. We know how the nuts feel, but the independents seem to be on a fence because they're not really sure which candidate is working in their best interest. My wife has a couple of nieces, who asked me, they're in college and they're hearing one side of the story. They want more information. And they've been told so much misinformation that they'd like the truth and they'd want to hear it from me. So I'm going to go through everything for the independents. Independence Day is tomorrow, so tune in. But let's listen to this.
Everyone knows that when Donald Trump was in office, the border was sealed. Everyone knows that since Kamala Harris has been in office, the border has been wide open. And it's not just people who are migrants who are trying to come to this country for a better life. It's criminals. It's gang members. Everybody knows that. It's terrorists, people on the terrorist watch list. Martha, this is too little too late. Nobody can believe her because her actions have said something completely different for 4 years.
The border. And the border is his issue. Right. The border, you can look.
Got to stop there. So she says the border is Trump's issue. No, the border is every American's issue. That's what the people in the media don't understand. They think it's Trump's issue. Trump is the guy who keeps talking about the border. Yeah, because you people think it's fine. You don't even think it's an issue. You think, don't worry about it. That's that guy, that orange man. All he does is worry about the border.
At those statistics, and yes, right now things are improving, but when you look and you compare those records, that
improving compared to what?
Is something Donald Trump could really drill down on.
Oh, absolutely. They have been nonstop, and that was the whole reason that Vice President Harris went out to the border this past.
Did you hear what she just said? Trump's been drilling down on this nonstop, and that's the reason why Kamala Harris went to the border. When you listen to these people, they tell you who they are. She didn't give a crap. The reason she went is because Trump is killing her in the press and in the media and with polls regarding the border. She just said it. Her words, not mine. She did not say Kamala cares about it. She really understands. She really means it. She said the only reason she went is because Trump is killing her. Here, listen to it again yourself. You can hear it right here. Let's go ahead. Say it, honey.
Oh, absolutely. They have been nonstop, and that was the whole reason that Vice President Harris went out to the border this.
That's the whole reason. When people talk on television and they just spew their stuff, they don't think people are listening to every single word. I listen to every single word so you don't have to. And then I want to point it out to you. And I say to you, did you hear that? Did you catch what she just said? That's the whole reason that Kamala Harris went to the border. No other reason. Not because she cares, not because of safety, nothing else. She went to the border because Trump is winning on that issue. They don't care about you. Hey, nieces, any independents, you hear that? That's from one of their spokesmen. That's the whole reason. It's all a smokescreen. It's all an illusion. It's all the royal scam. You guys are being bamboozled and gaslit, and they're even telling you. Straight up telling you. That's the whole reason. There is nothing else. There is no other reason she went to the border except Trump is kicking her ass with that issue. Right out of her mouth.
Past week, because they felt that they needed the optics of her just walking around the border with Border Patrol to show that she's paying attention to it, but also the fact that they need to now counter this message to show, yes,
now they need to counter the message. 3.25 of the year, she needs to counter the message. I don't need to fix anything. I just need to get out there so that, you know, you guys stop talking about it. Where am I doing? Oh, is that it? What happened here? Check. What happened to my thing? Why did it stop playing? Okay.
We recognize that this is a crisis, and we are trying to address it. Trump, of course, calling her the border czar, kind of attaching the crisis to her in particular because President Biden empowered her to handle it, to take charge of it. And that is something that has been a major vulnerability for Democrats and continues to be, regardless of Vice President Harris's attempts to then get ahead of the message and show that Democrats can be tough on immigration while still also adhering to the law.
I found it despicable. She spent 20 minutes on the border. She's been the border czar, Maria, for almost 4 years now. And she came down, I think, to make her friends in the mainstream media happy so that they could finally say she visited the border. Spent 20 minutes staring down at her feet, standing next to the wall. I was surprised she didn't call Joe Biden and say, "We did it, Joe. We destroyed America," because that's exactly what they're attempting to do. And Art just mentioned it. 30,000 convicted rapists and murderers are roaming around in our country. What they didn't mention in that list was the number of terrorists that are in our country right now. We're living in dangerous times. They just discovered IEDs and other weapons right on the other side of the border in Arizona. And, you have to wonder, are those meant for some of the terrorists?
IEDs. They just found IEDs. In addition to surface-to-air missiles that they want to take Trump down with, now they've also found IEDs. Can you believe this stuff? And now she just decides to go down to the border? My board kind of went out, so you guys are going to have to give me a little leeway here. I'm going to have to do some things manually.
That are now roaming around? And what about the 325,000 children who've been trafficked over our border, who Kamala Harris and my opponent, Ruben Gallego, who's in lockstep with her, have lost track of?
This is about winning.
Okay, so I was going to try and shut this woman down, but you have to hear the only word I can use is abject racism in terms of what this woman right now gets ready to say. It's absolutely astounding what this woman says in regards to the only reason why Republicans are worried about the border.
At any cost.
Right.
This is about maintaining power among a few individuals in this country at any cost. And what is always fascinating is those individuals who vote for this against their own interests.
Are you voting for deportations because it's against your own interest? What interest? These people make no sense. And Michael Steele, who's on this panel on MSNBC, who's supposedly a Republican, is sitting there, yeah, you're right. It's against their own best interest. Yeah, I hear you. How is deporting hundreds and thousands, if not millions of people who don't have the right to be here against my best interest? Somebody explain it to me. What exactly do I have to do to show you that it's not against my best interest, that we don't want these people here? But she goes a step further. Listen to this.
They're willing to vote against their own interests if it means that others can be beneath them. Whether it's black people, whether it's Latinas, whatever it may be, so long as they feel empowered by this.
So she said, the only reason you people, you maggots, All the reason why you people care about deportation and the newcomers is because you need them beneath you. You need to have these subservient people who are no longer of any substance. That's what she said. You know, everybody's got to hate somebody. And you got to hate on the immigrants. I said this yesterday. I've got a video coming out at 4 o'clock with Joy Reid. This is MSNBC again. And once again, they have tied legal immigration to just one word, immigration. There is no clarification at this point between illegal and legal. It's all the same thing. And that's what you don't understand, people. You maggots don't understand. It's purely immigration. It doesn't matter if it's illegal or legal. It is immigration, and you people are bigots because you won't accept it. What is wrong with you people? Can't understand.
And that's the whole premise behind the Great Replacement theory, behind Christian nationalism.
You know, they've called this, as I've said many times, conspiracy theorist. Everything has been conspiratorial to them. The Great Replacement has been a conspiracy theory. And as I've said many a time, somebody actually said on Twitter today, X, that I should get a t-shirt because I made up the phrase. There are no conspiracy theories. It's just information that has not been revealed to you yet. And now we're seeing all the things that people thought were tinfoil hat stuff are actually coming true. There is no more Great Replacement theory. We're watching it. We're watching them airdrop Haitians and other people into neighborhoods. We're seeing it. We're seeing it. They're flying people all over the country. Hey, here's your new home, Springfield, Ohio. Welcome to home. When you put 50% of the population is new into a city or town, what are you doing? What is the actual definition of what is happening at that point? And they're taking certain jobs and they're doing it. What do you call that? Well, it's pretty much replacement, isn't it? I mean, I'm just saying. Use the word you want. But if you have displacement, maybe that's a better word. The Great Displacement. You don't have to call it theory anymore because it's actually happening. See, a theory is something that hasn't been proven. So if you don't want to use replacement theory, then you would probably use the displacement practice. Because there's only so much water you can put in a cup. And then if you pour more water in that cup, the other stuff gets thrown out. It gets replaced. It gets displaced. So what you are actually doing is no longer a theory, it's in practice. Drives me nuts. They try to twist the language so you and me and other people don't understand it, and they confuse people and independence by saying theory, what's the thing, phobia. They attach all this crap to words so it just confuses people as they actually do it. There's no phobia. There's no theory. We're watching you. There's actual proof. You are displacing people. You are replacing people. There's no other way to look at it. No, this is illegal versus legal. It's all not the same. But to them, if they can basically gaslight enough people to not understand and not use the intelligence that God gave them, which explains a ton of people on the left, marching orcs. I hope people like my nieces who are independent can see they're laughing at you. You're going to college. If you're watching right now, let me just tell you, you're in college and you're being treated like a fool. They don't think you know the difference between theory and execution. See, you can go through your math classes and you know the Pythagorean theorem and all these different things. They're theories until you actually use them in the math problem. Then you're actually doing it. A theory. Execution. I'm actually doing it. You have to be proficient enough in a language to understand you're being lied to. And most of you don't have that. But you know what? Some people do. And this is where the whole shenanigans is backfiring on them. I've told you over and over and over. This thing is over from a mathematical standpoint. It's been over from a mathematical standpoint. It's only getting worse. I've told you, you can't fix the black vote numbers. They've historically got 80 to 90% of the black vote, and now they're only getting 70 to 75. You can't make up those numbers. There's no more black people. Oh, okay, so we'll just import a bunch of people from another society. We'll try to make them voters, and we'll just keep the other Hispanics happy. Uh-oh. Oh, so much for that.
We ask a basic question of Hispanic voters. Which party do you more identify with? 37% now say Republicans, 49% say Democrats. But again, look at how this has shifted in just the last dozen years. In 2012, this was a 41-point advantage for the Democrats. It has come all the way down to 12 points, Kristen, a 29-point drop in terms of that gap.
Y'all do math? Seriously, do you do math? Because if you're looking at what he just said, it's a 29% drop. So if they usually get this much and they've lost 30% of that, and this is by MSNBC, Steve Kornacki, numbers guy, how do you make that up? How do you possibly make that up?
On which party Hispanics identify with in just 12 years.
It is our low.
All right, so you just heard him talk. I don't know why my buttons aren't working. I can't worry about it right now. So I'm going to do it old school and just talk to you. 29% drop. Or, conversely, a 29% rise for Donald Trump. He's gained 29 points on this entire Hispanic market. The Latino market. Latina. What do you do? How is it mathematically feasible that you can even fix this? As we wait for the rally in about, I don't see anything happening yet, but I will as soon as we'll cut to it. Just want you to keep everything I've said in today in perspective. So one thing I want to break with, again, relatives up in Asheville area, finally getting their power back, some of them, some people whose houses have been destroyed. It's a tough time. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Rebuilding in Asheville is going to be a pain in the butt, especially for the commercial buildings, because here it's one of the most liberal cities you would ever seen. Don't know how this little conclave happened, but it's one of the huge liberal cities. And in this liberal city, the commission and government seats are occupied by absolute nuts. And they are going to decide you're going to have so many transformers in your business. You're going to have so many transformers that do this and that. And you're going to have to build this. And you're going to have DI. It's going to be a nightmare. And it's going to even be worse of a nightmare because Dementia Joe and Kamala Harris don't care as much because that's a white, pretty affluent area. And, in the essence of equity, you white people don't count as much. So I hope you can do what you can in the meantime, because she has been on tape telling you come after the black folk.
Lowest income communities and our communities of color that are most impacted by these extreme conditions and impacted by issues that are not of their own making. And so women. Absolutely.
You ever notice how she has to choke down stuff that she talks? You know why that is.
And so we have to address this in a way that is about giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity.
We fight for equality, but we have to give our resources according to equity, meaning you ain't black, you might have to wait for FEMA to get you your checks and different things.
Understanding not everyone starts out at the same place. And if we want people to be in an equal place, sometimes we have to take into account those disparities and do that work.
So I understand the raging rivers, the dams, everything that's, breaking free up there and causing major issues. In order for you to get your check and help you out, you might have to stand in line. You got to let the other people who not are as fortunate, because you all need to end up in the same place. And right now, their place is actually ahead of yours. God forbid they actually do that. I'm just telling you, not my words, hers. Her words were, you know, we got to work in equity and all this kind of crap. All right, so we're waiting. I got done my spiel. We can go ahead and do something. Gave away a bunch of stuff so far in the last couple shows. If you want to enter to win a hoodie, there's my beautiful wife. Go ahead over to fanfareshop.org. We'll give away another one at the end of today's rally. Just go to fanfareshop.org and register to win. If you've already entered, you do not have to enter again. We still have it. So far, we've given away 6 or 7 of them. Ashley's out there contacting people, but just go to fanfareshop.org and register to win a hoodie. And we're also working on the Fanfare Party down here in Boca. So we'll keep you up to speed on that. All right, here we go. We got to vote these crazy people into oblivion. Yeah, absolutely. And just so you know, I didn't make up anything that I just showed you. I showed you what she has said, what she has done. And let's see here. Is the man coming out? Let me just make sure here. They're showing the stage. He's not walking out yet, so we're good. Yes, she's beautiful. Thank you very much. Oh, it's definitely socialism. It's definitely socialism at its worst. And I just, you know, maybe they're back channeling it. Maybe they're just trying to be quiet. But they showed what's his name, Dementia Joe, taking a question today about Asheville and North Carolina. He ignored it and just kept walking. Just kept walking. Oh, thank you very much, Gina. Thank you very much. What if you want to buy one? Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're gonna set something. Anybody have a place I could stay when I come down? I'll put it up there. Let's see if somebody has it. Wish I could join a party. I'm sure it will be a blast. It will be. It will be for sure. Let's see here. I am voting Vikings up 21-0. Ert says. Oh, God, you're talking football. Your wife is so gorgeous. Thank you very much. You know, there was something that was funny today. Oh, I got to find this. This is too funny. You guys will probably actually enjoy this. You'll get quite the laugh at where is that? I gotta show you this. This. All I could do was absolutely laugh when I saw this posted. Crap, my thing's not working. Ooh, that sounds kind of funny. My buttons aren't working, so I can't push it over the way I want to. I got to do it this way. All right, here we go. Somebody, Newsweek magazine put out how hot girls have become the right's new obsession. Think about that. They actually wrote an article saying hot girls, I'll say hot women, have become the right's new obsession. And I said, okay, I got mine 33 years ago, so I don't know how it's new, but that's where we are. They are now bitching because conservative men like hot women. Again, their words. We don't even have to make this stuff up. How insane can you possibly be to say that? Oh, the new obsession is, you won't believe what these guys do. These guys like hot women. What, these people live in Jupiter? What in the hell? What? I don't get how that's now wrong. The fact that conservative men find hot women hot. We now have to be to blame because we find women to be hot. No wonder they hate Melania. I just don't get it. I really don't get these people. Maybe we're supposed to all just look at Transformers and go, oh, this is what we need to be. We can't possibly be looking at hot women. No, when you go to the beach, you want to see orca. Help me. Seriously, help me. What is wrong with these people? And I don't mean to be fat shaming and whatever they say, but you can't make a man not like what he likes. I mean, I think that happened. Let me think about it. 2,000 years ago. The reason we're in this predicament, because Adam said, damn, girl. Damn, Eve, you're looking good. And yeah, I'll bite that apple. These people know nothing. You remember, there was no shame. There was no, hey, she's pretty, until they bit the apple. Then they had to put the fig leaves on because, oh my God, Adam was like, yo, girl. 2,000 years. 2,000 years men have been chasing women. 2,000 plus years. And now, Newsweek just realized that, I can't believe this. Conservatives like hot women. Flash, newsflash, breaking story. Let's go ahead and print that. Was there no one in the newsroom that said, hey, you might want to take your fingers off the keyboard with this one? I'm not sure this is a good look for us to be bitching about the fact that conservative men like hot women. Because are you saying to us all that Democrats don't? Lefties are losing it. They're jealous of our beautiful First Lady Melania and every other great-looking conservative woman. Oh man, I have a box of pagers to send to Newsweek. It is. I mean, when you look at it, it just makes no sense at all. Talk about losing propositions to an election. You're trying to tell people. Oh, and then Jen Psaki did an interview with Kamala's husband. Swear to God, this was the headline. Doug Emhoff is redefining masculinity. Swear. You think I'm lying? Where is that one? Doug Emhoff is redefining masculinity. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Absolutely. Let me find it. Yep, here it is. I don't ever want you guys to think I'm lying about something, because sometimes this stuff just makes no sense whatsoever. And here it is. Jen Psaki to second gentleman. Doug, you have reshaped the perception of masculinity. She actually wrote that. And then had an entire interview talking to him and letting him know he's reshaped the image of masculinity. It's so fantastic. No more of these real men. You are it, Doug. You don't really get it. You mean so much to women at this point that this is what they expect from masculinity. Yeah, second gentleman. Oh, God. We only want real men, Belinda says. Good afternoon. Jen Psaki obviously isn't a conservative. Oh, God. She ain't it. Not much to look at. She's a joke. Maybe their ceiling is a lot lower. I don't know. Maybe something's wrong. Where they're looking at this guy and said he's redefining masculinity. I'll tell you what. I understand Jen Psaki is married. Dude, if your wife is looking at Doug Emhoff and how he acts around Kamala, and she's telling him you have redefined masculinity, you might want to go see a lawyer, because she might be doing something on the side. Because, damn, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to convict her of anything. I don't know. I'm just saying, if that's masculine to her, she might be looking to change teams. You might be able to use that entire interview in your defense when the trial starts. But if my wife said that was masculinity, if any woman I knew said that Tim Waltz is just the epitome of masculinity, yeah. Juan Gutierrez, Kamala's husband, is a soft soy boy, for sure. Man, you guys are cracking me up. You know what? It's funny. Oh, yeah. Oh, Google Chuck Schumer's wife. Again, I'm not shaming anybody, but if they're saying conservative men liking hot women is now the new headline that's somehow bad for us. Yeah, you Google Chuck Schumer's wife, you're gonna find out something. All right, so it's 2:15. Nothing moving on the stage yet, but we'll get there as soon as we can. Peppermint Patty, absolutely. And I showed you the white dudes from Harris thing. It's crazy. All right, so we're talking about the debate, and the debate. Somebody wrote, "What do I tell my girlfriend?" Oh, well, if your girlfriend is hot, don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? I don't know why I just said that. I apologize. I apologize. I don't want your girlfriend to be hot like me. Please, no. Somebody said, oh, so that was too fast. Oh, my goodness. I'll get in trouble if I put that. Remember the song Lola? Where is that? Oh, gosh. If you guys don't remember the song by the Kinks, Lola. Man, you're going way back. You're going back to like when I was in high school. You're talking 75, 76 maybe. The song Lola. It's so good. It's so true. Imagine being a fly on the wall when Lib News teams brainstorm for headlines and yeah, because you're absolutely right. Can you imagine? You're sitting in this newsroom and you're looking around the room. Yeah, I think conservatives like hot women. And you look at the women in your room, that must be something wrong with them. Because all of us in here, we're not interested. We're soy and we do this. But, those guys out there, watched an entire stadium, 60, 70, 80,000 people, and the cheerleaders were hot in Alabama, and the people in Georgia were hot, and there's people in the stands. Oh my God, all they keep showing on camera are these hot women all over the place. Yet you think we're the oddballs. You think that whole song by David Lee Roth was just some sort of metaphor or illusion. And I still remember that video going, damn. The West Coast girls, oh, California girls? Yeah. Well, the South. Yeah, I like the South one. Notice that, yuck, he's disgusting. Is Schumer's wife the Iris referred to by Donald J. Harris's book? I don't know where you guys got that. Lefties take no pride in their looks. Hey, I got volume. What do you mean no volume? I got volume. I don't know what you mean. We got volume. I don't even think it's there's nothing to do with taking pride in your looks. One of the things that endeared me to Robin is that this woman, and I'm sure you know women like her, don't even have to wear any makeup. They put on makeup. It's like an added bonus. But just seeing them without makeup, you're like, wow, that's pretty hot. Men have a hormone when men have a hormone when bored called testosterone. News at 8 p.m. Oh, you're so right. The most elementary of things, they now find it to be weird. Weird. And those of you just coming in, maybe need to rewind and just see what we're talking about. But Newsweek posted a... let me just put that up again because that's just too much. Do I still have it? Well, anyway, Newsweek posted something that said conservative men have a thing. They're all hung up on hot women. All right, so I don't want to offend anybody, so let's just go. Sam Elliott, yeah, but he went and turned completely woke. Sorry, lefties, but I was born. Yeah, aren't they the ones who always say that? I was born this way. Well, if you're born hot, then you're hot. That's what God wanted you to be. And then, of course, men find you attractive. That's not a sin. There is no sin in that. And somebody wrote in a tweet here, very interesting. Are they laying the groundwork for something? By saying that having a interest in a hot woman is a bad thing. Don't know. Don't know. I'm seeing Secret Service taking their position in front of the stage, so we may be pretty good. Women who look like the girls. What's that? I got to be careful. Look, I can't post that. Walsh's wife is mini-me Hillary. I don't know if you heard what Hillary said. Hillary said that using the word deplorable was not only is she not sorry about it, but she thinks it's too kind of a word now. So they've taken off all vestiges of trying to be nice. So I understand why we need to be nice. I just don't get it. You can call us every name in the world. You can tell us we're weird because we like hot women. You can tell us that, you know, Trump's an orange man and he's bad and we're crazy and nuts and Hitlerian and everything else. But you're mad when we get upset. Because right now we're upset. Maybe that's what they're worried about. You pushed the bear, you poked him a little bit too much. And now you're seeing, and especially if you heard his speech yesterday, the bear got pissed off. And the bear is bringing it. And he's not taking your crap anymore. And I think 100 million of his supporters, we ain't taking it anymore. We don't care what you think. At this point, we know most of you are never coming back. You're done. You're so far gone, you're calling hot women bad and men liking hot women bad. If that's the case, screw you at this point, right? I mean, seriously, what are we supposed to do? Just bend over backwards? Ain't gonna happen. At least we know what hot women are. Conservative women don't have to become trans. It's not even in their mindset. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever seen. Maybe you should Google this. If you've ever seen a picture of Rachel Maddow in her 19 or 20-year-old self, and then you look at what Rachel Maddow looks like now, and you're like, what happened? How did that happen? Because Rachel Maddow earlier was actually a pretty good-looking woman, and decided to basically make herself no longer look like she was. I mean, yes, I've met gay women, lesbian women, and they are who they are. But when you have to alter yourself to not be attractive, something's wrong with that. Why can't you just be gay and be the woman that you are? I don't know. Hey, it doesn't make any sense. Why do you have to basically change who you are if you keep saying God made me that way? See, that always freaked me out about that whole mantra. You know, God made me this way. No, God made you the other way. You changed it. So it's not about being who I am. That's how I am. It's not about that, right? You can't have it both ways. So we're seeing some movement, seeing lots of Secret Service, and so we are seeing the man. Let's go ahead and put him out there. Of course, I've got to kill the music. All right, killing the music. As soon as he gets on stage, we will go to him as soon as he begins talking. Let me go ahead and check my other feed here pretty quick. Make sure we're good there. I like my other feed better too. And okay, looks like both of the feeds are kind of cloudy looking, but I still like this feed much better. All right, he's walking across the stage. Don't really know where he is. Here he comes. There's the man. There's the man right there. Like I said, I bet you he's still going to come with a hard immigration stance today. What you're seeing on the screen, I've got two feeds working. It looks like he doesn't have the best camera people there today. I'm seeing some stuttering, but we will do the best we can to make sure that this thing comes across accordingly. And we'll be checking the volume as soon as the music's done. He looks rested. So this is from Erie, Pennsylvania. If you guys aren't familiar with Erie, it's western Pennsylvania, over there by Buffalo, near Buffalo, New York. Not too far from Niagara Falls. Beautiful area. Absolutely beautiful area. She probably has holes in her pants too. Okay, so what we got here? That's as soon as this happens, we'll go ahead. I'm still the girl next door. Alright, so looks like the music has ended. And
very much. Thank you. Whoa. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. What a crowd. Well, I want to thank everybody. There has never been spirit. You know, we did great, as you know, in 2016. We did much better in 2020. Bad things happened there. But there's never been...
Let me know how the sound is, everybody. Let me know how this sounds.
Special. And I want to say hello, Pennsylvania. I'm thrilled to be back in this beautiful Commonwealth with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. Before we begin, I'd like to send my love and prayers to the families of those who have died, a lot of death, and all of those who are displaced and suffering in the wake of the hurricane's destruction in the South, especially in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, and in particular, Western North Carolina took a tremendous hit. It's been absolutely devastated, and God be with you all. It's been a rough one. That was a big monster hurricane, and hit a lot harder than anyone even thought possible. So we want to just extend our best wishes to everybody, right? And Joe Biden is in Delaware sleeping right now in one of his many estates. One of his many estates. How did he get so many houses? He never was anything. He was a politician, made $151. What the hell is it all about? And that's why Lion Kamala Harris in San Francisco, a city that she has totally destroyed, that's where she is right now at a fundraiser. I don't know why fundraiser. They send her, they get so much money. You know who give, a lot of people send money. I won't tell you who, but people that you would not like very much. I could give you the names. I think I will release the names. But if I do that, they'll say that I'm a threat to democracy. He's a threat. You wouldn't like the names. But they raise a lot of money from bad people. Fundraising events with their radical left lunatic donors. When big parts of our country have been devastated by that massive hurricane and is underwater with many, many people dead, she ought to be here. She ought to be down in the area where she should be. That's what she's getting paid for, right? That's what she's getting paid for. So he's at home sleeping in one of his many estates, and she's in San Francisco, which she destroyed, trying to raise more money. She ought to get out and do more interviews. That's what she ought to do, right? And I'm here in Erie, Pennsylvania with the workers who used to be Democrats. But now they're all Trump Republicans because they know that Trump is going to take them to the promised land. We will. And we will. And by the way, so that, you know, our polls are doing great. You saw that. This is, if we win Pennsylvania, we win. But, you know, honestly, we're doing good everywhere. But we were at the Alabama-Georgia game yesterday. Did you see it? So, just to show, because this is a poll too, right? And I walked in. It must be my looks. Because the place went stone cold crazy. Where is it? Put it up. Put it up. We got to put it up.
I'll be showing that at 7 p.m. tonight, so make sure you come back for 7 o'clock as we talk about that.
It's a great game. Alabama got off to a really big start. You would have said it was over, and then Georgia came back. What a great game that was. Great players, a lot of future NFL players in that group, but it was really great. But the level of love and enthusiasm, and, you know, Tim Walsh, you know who he is, right? I won't say which, but he went to a game. They booed him out of the place. He wanted to go home early. He wanted to get out of there. That was not good. It was not a good environment. But this is a poll. I mean, that's a poll. It's all a poll. You know, you have thousands of people outside. We were in Wisconsin yesterday, and except for the fact that the administration would not let us have the people, we had 50,000, maybe more people, and we were going to do an outdoor rally, and we ended up having to do it inside in front of about 1,000 people. But we had 50,000 people that showed up, but they didn't want me to be outside. They said they couldn't get us enough people because they were guarding the United Nations and Iran. The president of Iran is here. But Iran is threatening my life, and they're guarding the president of Iran. And Biden doesn't say anything. I'd say so. If that were me, and I don't care who the opponent was, I'd be letting him know, you better not touch, you better not do anything. But, you know, they're guarding Iran, and we had 50,000 people. It was the most incredible scene. Wisconsin, I think we're going to do great in Wisconsin. But Rasmussen just came out with a big poll. We're leading, and we have a couple of them where we're leading virtually in every swing state because people are tired of her act. We're going to say some tough things today. People are tired of her act, her lying. She's a liar, and they're tired of it. I think they would have been better off keeping Sleepy Joe. You want to know the truth? I do. Early voting is beginning and get underway. It's all underway right now in Pennsylvania. And Erie County is starting in the coming days. You know, Erie County was known as a Democrat area until Trump came along. And then they said, what the hell? Right, David? They said, what the hell happened to Erie County? Well, we love you. We're the same people. You, me, we're the same. We need each and every one of you to make a plan to vote early and vote absentee, do whatever you want. The main thing is you got to get out and you got to vote. I really believe that if you look at this date and look at what's happening to our country, I think November 5th will be the most important day potentially in the history of our country because our country is going bad. It's going bad. We have stupid people running it. We also need you to find as many other new voters as you can, so go get them. We have some voters that are for us, but they never voted. And they're going to want to vote. Just a little bit prodding. They'll come out and they'll vote. Our entire nation is counting on the people of the Commonwealth. And I know you will not let us down. You're not going to let us down. We're going to have a tremendous vote. We're leading by a lot in Pennsylvania.
That's not me. That's the feed. I may have to switch to feed 2 real quick here.
We'll never frack, never frack. There will be no petroleum product. We're going to go to wind. Everything's going to be wind. Wind. Even if it's not windy, then we'll suffer for a couple of days. Well, about 90% of the year. We're going to wind. We're going to lots of different things. They haven't worked anywhere else in the world, but we're going anywhere. No, there's no way she fracks her whole life. So she has 15 policies. And over the last year and a half, every single one of them, she changed to the exact opposite. Like taking prisoners and giving them sex change operation. She's totally in favor. That's what she wants to do. That's one of the more men playing in women's sports. Who would want that? Who would want that? Frankly, the worst of all, and to me the most ridiculous, or almost most ridiculous, open borders, let everyone come into our country and destroy it. But if we win in Pennsylvania, we will win the whole thing. We're going to win, and we're going to turn our country around. We're going to turn our country around, right? Right? David. We're going to turn our country around. We're going to turn around fast. Thank you. And vote for that man right there. He's a great man, David McCormick, Senator. Bob Casey. Bob Casey does nothing. He doesn't do. I was there 4 years. I don't know if I ever met the guy. He just votes along whoever's, on the radical left. He votes. It's not your guy. He's been there a long time. His father was there. He was there. You got to get somebody that's got energy. He's a low-energy person. Remember the last time I said that? That family has never spoken to me again. 37 days from now, we're going to win this Commonwealth. We're going to defeat Lion Kamala Harris, and we will make America great again. We will do that. And this is the most important election. I think it's going to be the most important election of them all. I mean, they had some pretty good ones, right? A long time ago, they had some pretty good ones, but this is, I thought that 2016 was the most, and I'd say that. This is the most important because the border was bad. And then we fixed it 100%. It was so good. And then these guys took over and they destroyed it quickly. They got rid of little things like Remain in Mexico, things like not easy to get, Remain. When I told the president of Mexico, everybody's staying in Mexico. No, we wouldn't do that. I said, yes, you will. Because if you don't, we're going to tariff your cars at 150%, and that's going to be the end of that. Sir, we'd love to do that. We'd love to keep everybody in. We had hundreds of thousands of people. Tijuana was probably the fastest growing place on the planet. You ended up with like 500,000 people there from a little town where you get a nice little drink to 500,000 people. They couldn't get into the country. They wouldn't come in. Mexico was great, but I used tariffs in order to get that, but it was very important. As soon as they came in, they let the people just pour in. It is so sad, and we're going to discuss that. If Kamala Harris gets 4 more years, America, as we know it, will absolutely be destroyed. You'll have not 21 or 25, whatever it may be. Nobody has any idea. They have no idea. They have no idea. They like to say 12, 14, 13. It's 21. It's probably, could be 31, could be a lot more than that. They have no idea. They're pouring in. Kamala is openly acknowledged to be the worst vice president in history. And as president, she would be much worse than that. She would be a disaster. I mean, they asked her, did anybody see the Oprah interview? Oprah wanted to climb under the table. She couldn't. The whole thing is crazy. 2 days ago, for the first time ever, the Patriots of ICE released. This is the first time ever where they released murder numbers and rape numbers and human trafficking numbers. They never do that. They talk about overall, nice and gently. But somebody felt that these numbers should be released, and they came out actually just as she got to the border. It's very interesting. This was a little tough because she gets up and she goes, well, I didn't really get involved too much with the border, but I'm going to now get involved. Why didn't she do it almost 4 years ago? Why didn't she do it? Because she can't do it. She can't do it. Number one, she doesn't have the capability. Number two, her base will not let her do it for whatever reason that is. You have to explain that. But new data came out, and the massive number of savage criminal aliens that Kamala Harris has allowed to invade our country. This is an invasion, and these people are mean, tough. She had a total, listen to this, these numbers just came out, nobody thought, and I've been saying it for a long time because we are the party of common sense. I knew that once they had open borders, all of the countries, I didn't think about all over the world, I thought in South America, it's all over the world. Last week, a lot of people came in from the Congo, a big prison in the Congo in Africa. Welcome to the United States. They came in from the Congo. They come in from South America, they come in from Asia, they come in from all over the world. They come in from all over the world. The Middle East, you got to see, from Yemen, they're coming in. We have more terrorists come into our country in the last 2.5 years than we've ever seen. You know, I had one year where Border Patrol said no terrorists came in. I had another year where they said 11 came in. Thousands of terrorists are pouring into our country now. Thousands. And they're coming into our cities and our small towns here in Pennsylvania and all over the country. These towns are petrified. Even if they're not there yet, they will be there because you have millions of people we're dealing with. No country, this is not sustainable by any country in total. Listen to these numbers, though. These are the official numbers. These are certified numbers. Can you believe it? This isn't her with her bullshit. In total, she's a liar. In total, during her term, it's not even believable, she let in 13,099 convicted murderers. Some of them had murdered 10 people. Some murdered 7. One murdered 6. I'm looking at these. These are stone cold killers. And they let in people that are worse than any criminal we have. The only thing nice about it is they make our criminals look extremely soft and nice. And remember these people, remember her and Sleepy Joe saying, no, the people that we bring in, they don't create crime. I'm saying, are they kidding? I'm going to show you a video that I have that you're going to see in a couple of seconds. It's brutal. It's brutal. One guy talking to a judge, I will kill you. These are brutal people. These are the people that we don't want. You know, we all have big hearts and all that stuff. She let in 25,272 illegal aliens convicted of rape and other sex crimes, viciously raping, and 62,231 criminal aliens convicted of violent assault, where people are just about dead, but they didn't die, but we took them in too. In total, she let in, listen to these numbers, 647,572 migrant criminals of the worst order. They call them of the worst order. I wonder what that means. Charged with or convicted with heinous crimes, including child predators, drug dealers, vicious gang members, sadist thugs, and people that deal in women, people that they take women and they sell women and they bring them across the border, mostly women, children also, but mostly women. And they're all living in our country right now. And we've had many killings. Rachel Morin, so many people have died, but wait till you see what's going to happen. Oh, and if I don't get in, it's going to be the worst thing that this country has ever suffered, because they won't do a damn thing about it. And the number of 21 or 25 or whatever million it is, you'll have 150, 200 million come in. You will have, this country will no longer be recognizable. It's already close to that, and we're going to get it taken care of. And I just say this. To all rapists, drug dealers, human traffickers, and murderers, welcome to America. It is important that you send a thank you note to Lion Kamala Harris, because without her, you would not be here. But we don't want you here, and you're going to get the hell out. Very soon, we're getting you out. When just one convicted murderer escapes from prison in real life, right? We have one person will escape who's not nearly as bad as the people we're letting in. He's like a perfect person compared to the people we're letting in. You'll see that in a second. But if somebody escapes, we have a massive manhunt, and we look all over the place, and we got everything in the world. And we have 13,099 that just came in. We have massive manhunts. It's all over the place, and they capture them. But now we have 13,099. That's just the murderers. And over 600,000 they call them highest level criminals in our country. Kamala let in the 13,099 convicted murderers and opposes all efforts to find them and to remove them. She opposes all these efforts because, look, she's a communist. You know that. I used to say Marxist, but unfortunately nobody knows what that is. Most people said, what's a Marxist? Is that a good thing or a bad? I said, I have to use the word communist, okay? Does anybody mind? It's close. And by the way, they're close enough. Remember, I used to say, our country will never be a socialist country. And I turned out to be right. They skipped socialism. They went right down to communism. So I was right. See, because I'm right about everything, right? Trump is right about everything. Trump is right about everything. They skip socialism. Normally they go from socialism to communism. No, they skip socialism. Kamala Harris can never be forgiven for erasing our border, and she must never be allowed to become president of the United States. She'll destroy. She's a radical left lunatic. And one of the reasons I'm angry, yesterday she made a speech like everything on the border is good. And she's going to fix the border. Did you see that crazy speech? And I'm going to fix the border because I was a prosecutor. You know who she prosecuted? Mostly her political opponents like me. They said, but how am I doing? I'm doing pretty good, right? She actually had a terrible record as a prosecutor. And you know who she went after more than anybody? African Americans. They hate her. They hate her. And she destroyed San Francisco. But what she's done is a total disqualifier. She should be disqualified. She should resign the vice presidency and go home to California, which she is by, she's really destroyed it. But she should go home in disgrace. What Kamala has done with illegal migrants is the biggest crime story of our time, because hundreds of thousands of people are going to be victims very shortly. It's happening. We had many of them yesterday. We had this incredible event. We had many of the parents of victims at the event. We had one or two that spoke. It's impossible almost for them. Their lives are destroyed, just so you understand. Their daughters were killed. Their lives are destroyed. Their sons are killed. And they were killed by migrants that came in illegally that were so vicious, like you've never seen before. Already hundreds of people have been murdered because of her action at the border, and thousands more will follow in rapid succession. She should be impeached and prosecuted for her actions. And these killers are stone-cold monsters and have so little heart. They have no heart. They really have no heart. Worse than anything you can see on television. You look at the mob pictures, the gangster pictures, the drug dealer pictures. These people are far worse. There's nobody in Hollywood like this. You can't get people like this. You'll see that in a second. And they don't care when or who they kill. They wake up the following morning, they don't even remember. So it's just like a routine part of life. And they're in our country now. They don't even think about it. These are rough, vicious, rougher than anything you can imagine. There is no, and I say it all the time, if you wanted to do a movie on some of these people that you're going to be looking at in 2 minutes, if you wanted to do a movie, there's no actor in Hollywood that could play the role. There's nobody that could do it. These actors, they're a little bit shaky. They can't play the role. They'll bring in a big actor and you look, you say, oh, he's got no muscle content. He's got no muscle. We need a little muscle. Then they bring in another one, but he's got a weak face. He looks weak. No, these guys have the whole package, unfortunately for our country. I watched one of them shouting at a judge, I kill you. I kill you when I get out. I kill you. And, the judge is like, oh, he's never heard this stuff. And even the guards, they want to look for a new job themselves. I kill you. But it's all because Kamala let these people in. Let's take a look at this. You'll find it very interesting.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, please step out of the hallway. They're fucking dead. They're fucking break out soon, and I will kill more. See, the only thing if I get regret is if I can just kill two. I wish if I can. See, the only thing if I get regret is if I can just kill two. I wish if I can kill more of those motherfuckers. Kill more cops soon.
Pedir un perdón.
He says he wants to apply for pardon for the felony he committed. Attempt of murder.
Hell, I want to buy one. I built hundreds of miles of wall. I'm going to buy one of those and come out here. I built hundreds of miles of wall and it worked. And I was going to add another 200 miles, and then we had a very disruptive election. Horrible thing happened. Horrible. Including in this state. We won it in 2016 easily, and then in this state, bad things happened because I love you and you love me. We did so good here. But you know what? I built hundreds of miles of wall. And I'm going to walk onto this platform someday at some place, and I'm going to wear that ugly, horrible suit. Because it's emblematic. It's emblematic of what we've done, right? It's a great guy. He must have been to 250. Do you have any idea how many you've come to? Hundreds. And he's a very successful guy. You believe it? It's like, they go to football games and they got the name of a top guy in a law firm or a top CPA. But on Sunday or Saturday, goes to football and they have the name of the player in the back. Who would do that? But they do that. I wouldn't do that. Just out of pride. I'm not going to do that. We want to keep our own name on our back, right? But he's been a great guy. I'll bet he's gone to 250 rallies. You may have the record, right? We have the people the ladies from North Carolina. We have the front row Joes. Where's the front row Joe? Look at this. Look at these guys. Look at these front row Joes. But we have a great time with a horrible subject. Think how it will be when we fix it. We will really have a great time because we're going to fix it and we're going to fix it. But these people are very much like how the Democrats are and the way they cheat in elections. They have absolutely no shame. These criminals are the way the Democrats are. They have no shame whatsoever. They cheat, and it's almost like routine for them. It doesn't bother them at all. Kamala Harris lies about everything, and that's why they call her Lying Kamala. Lyin'. Lying. She's a liar. She lies about everything. She makes up stories about me. But yesterday, really, she said I ripped babies out of a crib. Donald Trump I ripped babies. I said, where did she get that one? Every day it's a new story. Now, if I'm a person, that's not really into knowing who Trump is, I would say he's a terrible guy. He rips babies out of a crib. Remember when they blamed me for building cages to put kids in? And then somebody from Border Patrol said, I'm sorry, that was 2 years before President Trump came into office. That was done by Barack Hussein Obama, right? That was Barack Hussein Obama. Remember that? I went through 2 weeks of hell, and then finally somebody spoke up and said, I never built those things, and then it was Obama that built them. So it took a little time. Did I get an apology from the fake news? Oh, that's a lot of fake news. Did I get an apology from the fake news? No. Did I get an apology from 60 Minutes when I said that the laptop from hell had nothing to do with Russia. It was done by Hunter. Did I get an apology from 60 Minutes? No. Remember that? She was fighting me. This was from Russia. I said, this was not from Russia. I won't tell you what the pictures were. They were not good. They never got into the real pictures, did they? If it was me, they would have gotten into the real pictures real fast. They didn't get into those pictures. She makes up stories about everything, including herself. Like, you know, it's so nice. I always get criticized because they agree that I'm true, but why would I bring it up so much? Because it's so simple. It's not a horrible plot. It's not a complex thing that people get bored with, Uncle Sam. It's just basic. She said she worked so hard, she sweated over French fries at McDonald's, and she never worked there. It turned out to be a lie. And the fake news doesn't want to talk about it. Although I heard a major newspaper is doing a big story on it, it's a lie. It's a total lie. She never worked at McDonald's, but she lies about everything. And we can't let her get into office. And that's why I'm a little bit rougher than I would normally be. You know, we started off with crooked Joe Biden, and they kept him in the basement. They got lucky because of the horrible COVID situation. We did an amazing job with COVID. I got credit for the economy. I got credit for the military. We took out ISIS. We rebuilt them. I got a lot of credit. Space Force. Never got credit. And what we did was amazing. Nobody knew what it was. What we did was amazing. With all of the things that we did were amazing, actually. But you know, when he came in, and then he comes along and he stops, and all of a sudden you realize, and now we got him as a president, and the wall stopped, and everything stopped, and people started coming in. Oh, is my favorite of all time, my favorite graph, in fact, my favorite document of all time, and I have some good ones. There is never a document like this. Do you have? They don't even know I'm going to be asking for this. This reminds me, they're unbelievable. No, they didn't even know. That's my favorite document. That document saved my life. Immigration saved my life. Without that document, I would not be. Without that document, I would not be here. Without that document, I wouldn't be talking to you. Without that document, we're not here. Because not the beginning. And I had it on my right, because I don't use a teleprompter that much, you know, just pieces. By the way, I said this the other day. Isn't it nice to have a president that doesn't need to use a teleprompter? Isn't it, Uncle Sam? Isn't that nice? Isn't it really nice? But they do keep you out of a lot of trouble. You know, you just read the line. Like I was watching her the other day. Bah, 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 bah. Keeps you out of trouble because she can't answer a question. So this document turned out at the beginning. Think of that. What are the chances that it's at the beginning? I never did it at the beginning. Right at the beginning, and it's on my right instead of my left. And I was looking just at the right angle. Ping. I love that document. I sleep with that document every night. I kiss that document. I love that document. But what the document says, now that we get back to order, what the document says is that was the lowest point, the arrow in the bottom, that was the lowest point of illegal immigration in the history of our country. It's the lowest point that we've ever had. We had it going good. That included drugs, and that included trafficking of women and trafficking of children. We had it going, and all they had to do is leave it. And they came in and they terminated everything. Sanctions, they terminated remain in Mexico. They terminated every single thing. And they ended up with, look what happened. It was like a rocket ship, what's gone on. And then we found out on top of everything, I don't think they knew it at that time, they had flights coming in from all over different parts of the world. Flights, big, beautiful airplanes loaded up with migrants flying over the border. So they really did want people to come in. You know, now she says, well, I did a good job, but we're going to do a good job. Why hasn't she done it? You know, my expression with her, you can say every word she utters. Why haven't you done it? She goes, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. She's there for almost 4 years. And I just keep saying, why? I did it during the debate. I killed her in the debate, but I have crooked people. What they do, I had 3-on-1. I didn't even mind that. I still won by a lot. But why? I asked the question. And David Muir, how about him? I said, how about that guy? Pretty boy. You know, we call him Pretty Boy. That's about it. That's about all. But you know what? I said, crime is at a level like we've never seen. It's rampant. It's rising. Okay. He interrupts me. I'm sorry, sir. Crime in this country has gone down. I said, you know, without looking at numbers, is there anybody in this room that think that crime has gone down? It's gone through the roof. And largely because of migrant crime. It's not only that. You know, in New York, you can't walk into a drugstore now. It's like you're in a prison of glass. If you want to buy aspirin, you have to wait 45 minutes for a clerk to come up and open because what's gone on. And every drugstore, I just lost one. I had a nice tenant. I just lost a tenant. I had a beautiful tenant at 40 Wall Street. I just lost a tenant. They opened a big chain drugstore. Big, beautiful chain. They opened. They were doing such great business. 40 Wall Street right across from the stock exchange. They gave me notice. They said, we're going to have to close because the shelves, the people walk in, they just take everything they want. They walk out of the store. What the hell is going on? See, we have to let the police do their job. And if they have to be extraordinarily rough. And you know, the funny thing with all of that stuff, look at the department stores, same thing. They walk into you see these guys walking out with air conditioners, with refrigerators on their back, the craziest thing. And the police aren't allowed to do their job. They're told, if you do anything, you're going to lose your pension, you're going to lose your family, your house, your car. The police want to do it. The Border Patrol wants to do it. Border Patrol, they're incredible. They want to do it. They're not allowed to do it because the liberal left won't let them do it. The liberal left wants to destroy them, and they want to destroy our country. You know, if you had one day, like one real rough, nasty day with the drugstores as an example, where when they start walking out with, you know, she created something in San Francisco, $950 you're allowed to steal. Anything above that, you will be prosecuted. Well, it works out that the $950 is a misnomer because you can steal whatever you want. You can go way above. But you'd see, originally you saw kids walk in with calculators. They were calculating. They didn't want to go over the $950. They're standing with calculators, adding it up. You know, these are smart people. They're not so stupid, but they have to be taught. Now, if you had one really violent day, like a guy like Mike Kelly, put him in charge. Congressman Kelly, put him in charge for one day. Mike, would you say, he's right here. He's a great congressman. Would you say, Mike, that if you were in charge, you would say, oh, please, don't touch them. Don't touch them. Let them rob your store. All these stores go out of business, right? They don't pay rent. The city doesn't have money. It's a chain of events. It's so bad. One rough hour, and I mean real rough, the word will get out and it will end immediately. End immediately. You know, it'll end immediately. Crooked Joe Biden became mentally impaired, sad. But lying Kamala Harris, honestly, I believe she was born that way. There's something wrong with Kamala. And I just don't know what it is, but there is definitely something missing. And you know what? Everybody knows it.
The importance of safety and security, especially at our border.
Who really is Kamala Harris? She's been telling us her entire career.
I support our sanctuary law.
The illegal immigrant deported multiple times who stands accused of killing Kate Steinle.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
Also have the courage to reject that term illegal alien.
Are you aware that there's a perception? Are you aware that there's a perception?
That puts ICE in the same category as the KKK. Is that what you're asking me?
Abolish ICE. Yeah. Is that a position that you agree with?
And we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
We're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the border as criminals.
I am opposed to any policy that would deny any human being public health, period.
Would you be committing to close immigration detention centers? Absolutely, on day one.
How can she has applied consequences the last 3.5 years? 10 million illegal encounters, 2 million gotaways, 600% increase in sex trafficking, more terrorists come across the border, a record number of people off the terrorist watch list, and over 250,000 Americans dead to fentanyl that comes across the border. Consequences, there ought to be consequences for her failure.
We have a secure border. The border is secure.
Sickening new details about the murder of Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. The 22-year-old was beaten to death with a mystery object.
We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't.
Kamala Harris. Do you trust her to stop the invasion?
Thank you very much. And honestly, we could give you clips like that all day long. This is not your president. This president would destroy our country worse than Biden. He's the worst president in history. She would be worse. Every day, Kamala is using migrant flights and her phone app. Think of this. They're using a phone app where the migrants are allowed to phone them in so they find out how, but it's really, you know who really uses it? The cartels use it. The cartels use it because they pay off everybody. Our crooked people, they pay them off. They have a phone app. Where's the best place to drop the people? But they want to flood up Pennsylvania in particular, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, and the entire Midwest with thousands of migrants from the most dangerous countries on earth, destroying the character of small towns and leaving local communities in anguish and in despair. Pennsylvania is not going to take it anymore. I don't think you're going to take it anymore. I don't think so. Towns and leaving local communities in anguish and in despair. Pennsylvania is not going to take it anymore. I don't think you're going to take it anymore. I don't think so. As just an example, the beautiful 4,000 person town of Charleroi. Do you know Charleroi, Pennsylvania? Yes. Beautiful. It was beautiful. Lots of luck, Charleroi. I love you very much. But you get in, Charleroi will be beautiful again. But right now it's not so good. It's seen a 2,000% increase in the population of illegal immigrants under the border czar Harris. So its population, this is a little town. No crime, no problem, nice place to live. No problems. It just had a 2,000% increase in population with people just like we're showing you today. Our country is being turned into a dumping ground for the world. We have no choice. The people that Kamala Harris has illegally imported have to go back to places from which they came. They have to go back. They have to go back. In August, an illegal alien who Kamala Harris released into our country despite the fact that he was a convicted murderer and sex offender. Other than that, he was quite a nice gentleman. He was from El Salvador, killed a West Virginia mother of two. Killed her, viciously killed her. Didn't even think it was a bad thing. He didn't even think it was that bad. Only days ago, right here in Pennsylvania, an illegal alien ran over a 23-year-old musician with his car and did it on purpose And in New York, an illegal alien brutally murdered a woman in front of her children and enjoyed doing it. If Kamala Harris wins this election, she will overwhelm Pennsylvania cities and towns with illegal immigrants and migrants. And Pennsylvania will never, ever be the same. I went to school here. I love this place. I know it. It's so different what's happening to your beautiful place. No, I went to school here, and I loved it. I always loved it. But what's happening is so different. Kamala is so radical, she even wants to legalize fentanyl. She wants fentanyl come in. When one little drop can destroy you, which is pouring across our borders at record levels, at levels that you've never seen before. Fentanyl, how many people? I mean, everybody I know, they have family members that are dying, mostly children. And many of them not even looking for drugs. They have something else where it's something that and it's laced with fentanyl, and they end up dying a vicious death, by the way. I brought something, the snake. Does anybody want to hear it? We don't have to do it if you want to get back. Should we do the snake or not? Should we, David, do it? We got to get that guy in office. Should we do it? Well, it's so apropos, right? Should we do it? 250, anyone see it, the snake, but it's true. It's just so bad. But it is apropos, isn't it? So for those of you, who has not heard the snake? Who has heard the snake? And they don't care, they want to hear it again. Let's do it. This is about the border, essentially. It was an old song and a little rewording and things, but it was very, very apropos, and I think very good in a lot of ways. Got to learn your lesson. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, she cried, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and soon as she arrived, she found the pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She touched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, you truly would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying, thank you, ma'am, the snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me, but why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in. That's what's happening on our border. That's what's happening on our border. I mean, we can get a PhD in whatever it is from the best school in the world. It's not going to be more accurate than that. When you look at that guy up there talking to the judge, I kill you, I kill you, I kill you. Oh, he wanted to kill him. He will. If he gets out, he'll kill him 100%. But you have to know, but this is what we're bringing into our beautiful country, our beautiful USA. This is what we're bringing. But we're bringing them in at levels that nobody's ever seen, and we're doing it by stupid people like Kamala. She's a stupid person. Stupid person. I don't care. I don't care. On day one of my new administration, the invasion ends and the deportations begin. We get them out. Thank you very much. As soon as I take office, I will stop all migrant flights to Pennsylvania and every other state. I will shut down all entries through Kamala's migrant phone app. If you can believe, they have an app. They have a phone app. It's called an app. Can you believe this? I will end immediately catch and release. So I had catch and release too. But you know where I released them? In Mexico. I have catch and release too, but I released them in Mexico. Their catch and release was to catch them, even if they were a criminal. Immediately they released them into our country. I released them into Mexico. I will end all sanctuary cities all over our country immediately. And I will restore Remain in Mexico. It's called Remain in Mexico, and it wasn't easy to get. I had a fight like hell with the Mexican government and the president, a good man, but I had a fight like hell. When I told him I want everybody to stay in Mexico, he laughed at me. He laughed. He said, "What? Why would we do that?" Why? I said, "You're going to do it." No, you're going to do it. No, but we can't do that. I said, "You're going to do it. And if you don't do it, we're putting this massive tariff on everything you sell into our country, including all the cars you stole. And we'll make an absolute fortune on you, all right?" And he said, "But Donald, it would be my great honor to do everything that you'd like to do. Please don't put those tariffs on me, please. I beg you, don't put the tariffs. I will send in the federal law enforcement to liberate every Pennsylvania town and every town in the United States of America that has been taken over by migrant gangs and thugs and criminal aliens." Another front in Kamala's war on Pennsylvania's way of life is her war on energy. She was always against fossil fuels. She was born that way. You don't change. She just changed because her poll numbers were bad. You don't change. I'm the only guy this happens to. So I have the debate. Biden goes way down. He's down 21 points, I think. I'm leading by 21 points. The election's over. Crazy Nancy Pelosi. She's crazy as a bedbug. Oh, by the way, Visa, right? Did you see? Visa, she owned a lot of Visa. And the Justice Department brought suit against Visa, a vicious, big, a terrible suit. And she sold all of her stock the day before the suit was brought. She owned it for years. She's crooked. And she also knew, we offered her 10,000 soldiers or National Guard, and she knew that. And she actually admitted it on her daughter's documentary. She's a documentarian. I don't think Nancy's too happy about that. She said it was her fault. It was her total responsibility. I couldn't believe the daughter released the tapes, but they weren't really released. They were gotten somehow. Somebody gave them. And she took total responsibility. J6. Nancy Pelosi said she turned down thousands of troops, National Guard. Now, you didn't need thousands. You didn't need 10,000. I offered 10,000 or more because I felt it was going to be a very big day. Everybody was talking about it. But she turned them down. If she would have had 200, 300, 400, January 6th would not have existed as we knew it. Now think of it. And she's right on tape. This is my fault. This is my responsibility. I can't believe this has happened. And then they try and blame me for it. I offered them 10,000 troops, whatever you need, a few days before, because I said, there are going to be a lot of people here. If Kamala is reelected, her Green New scam will obliterate the economy of your Commonwealth, obliterate it. All stupid stuff. It also caused a lot of inflation between the energy policies and everything else they did, but the crazy spending, Green New scam. It used to be called the Green New Deal. Now we call it. Do you ever notice this was such a big deal, the environmental stuff. I haven't heard the environmental stuff mentioned in 6 months. I was saying the other night, what the hell happened to the environment? David, will you figure this out? David McCormick, everybody vote for him. David, will you figure this out? You know? No, but think about this. I haven't heard, Mike, they don't ever talk about the environment anymore. You know why? Mike is saying, don't talk about it now. No, it's one of the great scams of all time. You know why they don't talk about it? Because people aren't buying it anymore. I don't want to use bad language. My wife said, please don't use bad language. You know who said that? Right. The great son of the legendary Billy Graham, Franklin Graham. He said, sir, you are one of the greatest storytellers I've ever heard, but I listened to your rally the other night. You wrote me a beautiful letter, and your stories would even be better if you didn't use foul language. And I respect Franklin. I love Franklin. Franklin's a great guy. He really, really does a good job. And, you know, I took that letter. I said, gee. And then I said, okay, I won't use certain words. But, you know, when you don't use those certain little key words like bullshit, there's no other word. No, I'm trying to find, it's just, there's no other word. I mean, I don't use really bad words, but like, you know, for emphasis, and so I tried it one time and it wasn't pretty. Instead of that word, I said, and it's not true. And people are looking like, you know, falling asleep. Oh. But when I win, we will get Pennsylvania energy workers fracking, drilling, pumping, and producing like they have never produced before. Lion Kamala vowed to repeatedly ban fracking, and she imposed a natural gas export ban. That was a killer. That is starving your state right now of your wealth and wealth that you deserve. Right now, she imposed a ban on the natural gas. Very bad. People don't even talk about it. Her insane electric vehicle mandate. This is where everybody's going to have an electric car within a very short period of time. But maybe not everybody wants an electric car. And we love Elon. I love Elon. He endorsed me, gave me the strongest endorsement. And his Tesla is great, but he understands this. And he never once, you know, somebody said, does Elon ever speak to you about the electric? I said, never spoke to him about it. He never called me and said, what the hell are you doing here? Because he understands. He's got a great market. It might be 7 or 8%. But they're trying to have everyone 100%. Number one, they're made in China for the most part. They will all be made. The auto workers are now, you saw the Teamsters overwhelmingly supported me. You saw that. And the auto workers are overwhelmingly supporting me. It's pretty amazing. But the insane electric vehicle mandate, they want everybody to have an electric car, but they don't go far. They cost much more. There are a lot of problems, and they don't work well. You know, in Iowa, it was 20 degrees below zero, and I always heard the cars don't work well in the cold. And I had a big night in Iowa. I won that whole primary thing. We won by numbers that nobody's ever seen before. So I remembered very vividly, and I'm driving there, and there are cars all over the road. I said, what the hell is going on? Sir, they're electric cars, and they don't work in cold weather. I said, oh, that sounds like a bad idea. No, there are a lot of problems, but there are a lot of, you know, some people want them. They're great. Other people don't. But you have to have your choice. If you want a gasoline-propelled car, if you want to have a hybrid, you should have it. You should be able to have it. The new thing is hydrogen. They have hydrogen cars. They have one problem. On occasion, it will blow up. And when it blows up, you are not recognizable. No, you're not even recognizable. This is like a massive bomb being dropped. When it blows up, you are no longer, your wife cannot identify you. Let me put it that way. Is this your husband? They show you blood. Is this your husband? I really can't tell. No, so that's a problem they're going to have to work out, I think. But they say that's the new up-and-coming thing. So far, I'm not interested. Her insane electric vehicle mandate will decimate Pennsylvania's economy by abolishing gas-powered cars and trucks for American roads and destroying your fossil fuel industry. And there's very few states that benefit like you do from fracking. I mean, it's you have 500,000 jobs. And if she gets it, she's going to just dead it. She's a liar. Remember, again, McDonald's, just put it in your mind. It's so simple. I don't have to go through a long story. She said she worked there. She's a liar. That's why we're calling her Lyin apostrophe. And thanks to her Green New scam, your electricity prices are up in Pennsylvania 62% since she took office and are slated to be increased this year by more than 30%. Congratulations. You know, if and when we win, everyone says, sir, say, if they didn't cheat, I wouldn't even be here today. You know why? I wouldn't have to campaign. I'm here only because they cheat. And they cheat in this state, especially in Philadelphia. And I mentioned a couple of the areas, but for the most part, but Philadelphia is out of control. Detroit is out of control. Atlanta is out of control. Places are out of control. Because if there was no cheating, if God came down from a high and said, I am going to be your vote tabulator for this election, I would leave this podium right now because I wouldn't have to speak. We wouldn't have any problem. We have to have a landslide because they cheat so damn much. We have to have a landslide. Right, Mike? So I never say when I win. We're leading in all the polls. We're leading the state. But I say if and when, because I don't want to be obnoxious and I don't want to be foolish either. But if and when we're leading big, I win, I will cut. Too big to rig, you're right. We want to make it too big to rig. But here's a big promise to Pennsylvania and to the whole country, by the way, because your prices are really high. I mean, for people with all of that power, all of that liquid gold under your feet, you're getting screwed. You're paying high. You're paying one of the highest energy rates, including cars, air conditioners, heating. You're paying one of the highest in the whole country. Perhaps your governor's not doing a very good job. I don't know what the hell's going on. But when you have that kind of energy, you shouldn't be paying the price. But you're one of the highest. But here's a promise I'm making to you. I will cut your energy and electricity prices in half, 50%, 50, within 12 months of taking the oath of office. Within 12 months of taking the oath of office, I will cut your energy prices by 50%, and it's not going to be hard, and I will terminate the natural gas export ban. Can you imagine we have a ban? We have countries that want to pay us. You know, we were energy independent 4 years ago. Now we're not. But more importantly, we were going to be energy dominant. I would have been producing today 3 to 4 times what I was doing 4 years ago. I will repeal the insane electric vehicle mandate, and we will drill, baby, drill. Those two things very early. Drill, baby, drill. Thank you. And earlier this month, I was honored to receive the endorsement, as I said just a little while ago, but I got the endorsement from the rank and file membership of the Teamsters. It was a great honor. You know, I've used in New York. It's a very union town, and I used the Teamsters for years. They were great. They drove the cement trucks where I poured the concrete frames, and I did it for many years. A lot of buildings, built many buildings, many buildings, and Teamsters. And I got along with them great, but I got 60% of the vote. Actually, I think more than that, but 60% of the vote. And some local chapters, we did even better in Pennsylvania. We got 65% of the vote from the Teamsters. Wow, thank you very much. I love the Are there any Teamsters? Any Teamsters in the room? Good. Stand up, sir. He's a tough-looking guy. Very good. Good. Thank you. And as a result of this, shocking, to me it's not shocking, but as a result, the national organization, as you know, has refused to endorse the Democrat candidate for president for the first time in decades. I mean, it's been a long time. And I want to thank Teamsters President Sean O'Brien and all of the incredible rank and file Teamsters that did this. This was a big shocker. It wasn't shocking to me. I said, how the hell are Teamsters? These are tough people. How the hell are they going to vote for this woman, this terrible person? She's weak in so many ways, she's weak. They're not going to vote for that. I said a long time ago, I actually believe they would have been better if they left crooked Joe Biden in, because I actually think at least he had a base. She has no base. She was the last person. She came in last because when he ran, he got 14 million votes, whatever you want. I'm not a big fan of his. I wouldn't say he's exactly the greatest. Do we agree? Not exactly the greatest. He doesn't have any idea where the hell he is, but I think he's better than she is. And he had a base. He had a little base because of years and years. He made up a lot of it. He said he lived here, he lived there. He said, I used to fly jets too. If pilots came in, I used to fly jets. If truckers came in, I used to drive a truck. The worst of all, though, was when he said, I want to play him in golf. He wants to play me in golf. You ever see him play? Yeah. And Trump. Oh, but I'm a good golfer. No, I'm a good golfer. He said, I want to play him in golf. I'll give him 3 strokes aside. I said, can you believe this? The guy can't play. He never could. By the way, 30, 40 years ago, he couldn't play either. I was also honored to receive the endorsement of the Fraternal Order of Police, representing almost 400,000 police officers. Biggest organization all across our country. And also, I got almost every single police. Maybe I got them all, but I want to say almost because the fake news is back there, so I have to be careful. If I say I got them all and there's like one little group in some place, no, but I got almost every single group of police officers and law enforcement, generally sheriffs, everybody. These are great people, and we got to let them do their job. Also central to Kamala's agenda for economic destruction is her plan to impose the largest individual tax hikes in American history on you, the largest small business tax hike. She wants to get rid of the estate tax provision that I have in my tax, where if you die and you love your children, you can leave your small farm or small business to your kids. If you don't love your children, it doesn't matter. Does anybody here not love their children? Okay, then I've covered 100% of the audience. Well, there are some, but they're sort of embarrassed. They don't want to raise their head. But also, it's wants to impose the largest capital gains tax in history, and even a brand new wealth confiscation tax, or as they call it, unrealized capital gain, where you have to pay a capital gain even if you keep your business or keep whatever it is that you want to keep. You have to go out, get it appraised. And then after you get it appraised, you have to negotiate. This is the craziest thing. That's called a communist tax. That's basically a confiscation. I mean, some people in this room, you're wealthy, but you don't have a lot of cash, and you're no longer wealthy with this one. This one is whack job. But I don't know if it's ever been used. I mean, I've heard about it for years, but it's called unrealized capital gains. It means exactly what it says. They're unrealized. So you can't tax them, which will annihilate the stock market and wipe out the savings of millions and millions of seniors and retirees, and middle-class families will be devastated. Kamala Harris is a tax queen. She's known as the tax queen. She loves taxing people. This is the only election I've ever seen where somebody brags about, we're going to raise your taxes. You know, I've grown up watching politics. I've always liked politics. I've been on the other side, like writing contribution checks. But I've watched, and I've never heard anything like, most politicians, we will cut your taxes. This is constantly, even if they don't do it, by the way. A lot of times they don't. We will cut your taxes. It is our goal to cut your taxes. We're going to cut, right, Mike? Every politician. Have you ever seen one that doesn't do that? Look at, I have all these great people here. Great congressmen, warriors. David, are you going to ever say, we will raise your taxes? No, I don't think so. No, I've never seen it. This is the only group. We are going to raise your taxes. We're going to give you capital gains confiscation. We're going to do things that nobody has ever had to do. Vote for Kamala. Who the hell is going to vote? Open borders, tax increases, regulations at a level that no business will be able to hire you. Kamala is coming for your money. She's coming for your pension. She's coming for your savings. And unless you defeat her in November, this country is going to go to hell. As president, I will keep Kamala's greedy hands out of your pockets, and I will deliver gigantic tax cuts for working families of Pennsylvania. Thank you. And very importantly, this is so important because this is something, and she tried to copy me, that one didn't work out like she tried. A few months later, she said it, she got slaughtered. We will have no tax on tips. No tax on overtime. And no tax on Social Security benefits for seniors. No tax. No tax. And you know, it's going to lead to great things. A lot of people don't give. I know a lot about overtime. I'd hated to give overtime. I hated it. I'd get other people, I shouldn't say this, but I'd get other people in, I wouldn't pay. I hated. This is going to lead to a lot more. I think it's going to be economically positive, but I'm not even doing it for that reason. I'm doing it because like the no tax on overtime, it's something so good, but no tax for the seniors. Do we have any seniors here? I hate to admit it. I'm a senior. They'll say, he's got a conflict of interest. He's giving this to himself. Watch. I'll end up in front of a grand jury tomorrow. Donald Trump has suggested no tax on Social Security benefits. And he's got a conflict of interest. We're putting him before a grand jury because I've seen more grand juries than Alphonse Capone. And he averaged about killing one person a week. Alphonse, the meanest of them all. I know more about grand juries than Alphonse ever even thought about. My father's looking down on my mother. They're great people. They say, can you believe my son did this? Can you believe that my son would run for politics and be treated this way? But you know what? And we're doing great. We won the big case in Florida. We're winning them all. I'll tell you what. Did you see? We won the big case. That was the big one. They're going to get him in Florida. They're going to get him in Florida. It was always... That seemed to be the documents case. I had every right to have him, called the Presidential Records Act. That's what they passed it for. But he didn't have that act because he wasn't president. And he got out. You know how he got out? And I don't want to talk about him too much because she's running. Maybe he'll go back. If she does really badly, they'll probably put him back. Let's change. But think of this. So they got him out. They said, he's guilty of what he did, but he's grossly incompetent. Which she never told us, by the way. That's putting our country at risk. She should have told us. But he's incompetent, so nobody like this should be able to go to court. So think of it. He can't go to court, but he can run the United States of America. There's something wrong with that, right? There's something wrong with that. But the big case was a documents case in Florida. And we had a brilliant judge who was somebody that understood this whole thing, and I won the case in its entirety, and they go like, that was the big one. The big one was that we're going to get him in Florida. We're going to get that documents case. No, these are very crooked people. These people have weaponized the justice system, and we're not going to let it happen. We're not going to let it happen. It's a shame, but that's what it's been. Just makes your job more difficult. But it's all what we fight and the resolve that we have. It's the big reason why we're leading in Pennsylvania. And the Emerson poll just came out. I just heard 2 seconds ago, actually, we're up in Pennsylvania, Arizona, Wisconsin, Georgia, and they're the only ones they did. Even the New York Times, they're not big fans of mine. I'm not big fans of them, the failing New York Times. The Siena poll, we're up in North Carolina by a lot, and we're up in Georgia by 4, and we're up in Arizona by 5. That's in the New York Times. If they say that, David, that means we're up by, he goes, Uncle Sam said triple. I think you're right. Uncle Sam, please stand up. Look at this guy. Thank you. And by the way, he doesn't work for me. He goes to a lot of these, you know, they say it's the greatest show on earth. It is pretty great, isn't it, though? Isn't it? The people make it great. It's the greatest show on earth, but he does, Uncle Sam, I don't know who he is, but I shook his hand the other day, like at the Nassau Coliseum when we had a big one, but I shook his hand. He's got the strongest hands. He almost broke. I couldn't believe it. I said, Uncle Sam has strong hands. David, I was complaining the whole night. I said, I'm never shaking that guy's hand again. Have you known that? You have strong hands. He said, thank you, sir, very much. And I felt that cracking feeling, right? Now, you're a strong guy, right? Strong hands. What did you do for a living? I wanted to go to your inauguration. Okay. That's a roofer. Good. I can see it. Good. I'll bet you're a good one, too. Thank you. Thank you, Uncle Sam. You know, when she gets a little, she doesn't get a crowd, but when she gets a little crowd, there are buses coming in. So we take pictures of the buses, we give them to the fake news, they never report it, you know? But they have the bus people, and then they only show the first 3 or 4 rows. But we don't, like Uncle Sam, I mean, I don't pay anybody to come. We don't do any of that stuff. We have the most incredible group of people all over the country. No, I mean, if you were up in Wisconsin, you would have seen something that actually was incredible. But we're winning in Pennsylvania, and the main thing that we have to do is we have to get out the vote. We have to get out the vote, because if we lose this election, we are going to have a problem with this country, the likes of which I think no country has ever faced before. Here in Pennsylvania, you also need to vote for your next senator, and he's a great guy. I've known him for a long time. He's a winner in the military. He's a winner in life. He's got a fantastic wife and family, and I'm telling you, he's a warrior. He was a warrior in the military. He then goes into private practice, and he made a lot of money. He ran one of the biggest firms, and did really great, respected so much beyond this, and he just wanted to do something, I would say, for the country and for Pennsylvania, because, you know, Pennsylvania to the country, but he loves his country, he loves the Commonwealth. And Dave McCormick, just come up for a second, would you, Dave? Come on up.
All right, thank you, Mr. President, and hello, Erie, how are you? You know, I just wanted to say, Mr. President, thank you for coming back to the Keystone State. This is the place where we're going to retire Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and send you back to the White House, right here in Pennsylvania, right here, this state, right here in Erie. Erie, the bellwether, right here. And this is also where we're going to have the chance to fire a guy named Bob Casey. Bob Casey is weak. He's weak. He's a career politician. He's liberal, and we got to send him back in and bring a Republican majority to the Senate to get the Trump agenda across the finish line. And you know, I'm new to politics, but ever since I can remember, I've had people tell me, this is the most important election of your lifetime. How many times have we heard it? I want to tell you, my friends, this, for our kids, for our grandkids, this is the most important election of our lifetimes, right here. And it's a race. It's a race between strength, a guy who says fight, 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 and weakness. The weakness of Kamala Harris. It's a race between common sense policies and a radical liberal agenda. You don't have to listen to me. This is a woman who said, in her own words, we want to ban fracking. We want to transition energy workers. We want to give amnesty to 10 million illegal immigrants. We want to make sure they have federal benefits. We want to have mandatory buybacks of your guns. We want to defund the police. And how about this? We want to reduce your red meat consumption, right? We need common sense leadership. It's common sense. We need a leader who's going to open up our energy sector, that pure, beautiful natural gas from Pennsylvania right here, President Trump. We need leadership to tame. We got to tame this inflation and help working families with President Trump. We need to bring law and order to our cities, and we need to secure that border and stop these illegal immigrants coming in and bringing crime and fentanyl into Pennsylvania. And most important, our adversaries around the world are testing us. They're challenging us every day. We need peace through strength that we only will get if we get President Trump back in the White House and a majority in the Senate. So I want to tell you all, this is the most important election of your lifetime, but it depends on you. You got to get out there. You got to tell your friends. You got to get them to vote. This is the most important election of your lifetime. Let's go do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Great, Dave. That's great, David. So get out. Dave McCormick, great guy. You got to get him in. He'll be a tremendous asset, tremendous help to you and to everybody. We're also pleased to be joined by a couple of real warriors. Mike Kelly, who I mentioned before. Mike, please stand up. Congressman. This guy he's a great guy. He's been my friend for a long time. I won't say how long because I don't want to have them think we're a little old, because we're not old. Where it counts, we're not old. But I'll tell you, Mike is a tremendous guy, and he's been that for a long time, and he loves your Commonwealth, and he loves it a lot, and he loves our country. So thank you, Mike, for being here. Appreciate it. And another longtime friend, Nick Langworthy, who is congressman, doing really well. I've known him he was the leader of the party. He was a leader of everything he's done, and you're doing a great job. Thank you very much, Nick. Thank you. And a very popular mayor of Slippery Rock, J.D. Longo. Thank you, J.D. Thank you. Good job. Good job. And all the other people, we have so many people here. We won't do all, and I apologize, but we got to get back to it, and then we'll get the hell out of here. You go home, watch a football game or something, right? Lion Kamala Harris is the worst vice president acknowledged to be in history. Everyone thought she wouldn't get it, but they wanted to be politically correct, so she gave it to her. And here are the facts. She wants open borders. She cost the typical family $29,000. Think of that because of her inflation policy. And it's going to cost a lot more than that very soon. It's going up by a lot. She was an original creator of Defund the Police. Are there any police officers? She was for Defund the Police. Anybody that wants to defund the police for even 1 week is not worthy of being the president of the United States. And just to show you, go ahead, put up that video, please.
Kamala Harris's radical ideas keep ending in tragedy. Harris raised money to fund the release of violent criminals like Sean Michael Tillman.
Secure the release of a repeat felon who just got charged with murder. Sean Michael Tillman shot and killed a passenger on a train platform after reportedly being released from jail 3 weeks prior.
Harris's liberal ideas get people killed.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
So we're trying to show you, and we're working hard because a lot of people don't know her. She's a disaster. You can't have her. Kamala Harris vowed to abolish ICE, and she supports free health care for illegal aliens. She wants mass amnesty and citizenship for everyone. All of these people, even if they're criminals, they're looking for amnesty, and they want to become citizens of our country. Those countries threw them all out. She says we must not utter the words illegal alien, radical Islamic terrorist. Remember, I used to use that word all the time because we had a problem. We didn't have one terror attack during my 4 years because they knew they couldn't do it. But maybe worst of all, she lost more than, this is not even possible to believe, 325,000 migrant children are missing, many of whom have been trafficked and raped. As California Attorney General, she lost them all. And she redefined child sex trafficking, assault with a deadly weapon, and rape of an unconscious person as totally nonviolent crimes. No, this is a radical left lunatic we're dealing with. By the way, if she wins, it's not going to be so pleasant for me, but I don't care. I really don't care. We have a job to do. You can't let her win. You can't. Because they're unpleasant. They're unpleasant anyway. They're crooked people. They're crooked people. She praised the idea of a 70 to 80% tax rate. That's great. Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, they have the best seat in the House, actually. They only see the back, but the cameras, all those cameras are on them. And every once in a while, a star emerges. Like, how about the stars that emerged in Butler? Those people behind me, so many stars emerged. They were behind me, and they didn't run. They weren't running, right? Mike is doing a fantastic job, by the way, on that. Thank you. Mike Kelly, what a fantastic job he's doing. He gets it. But you know, amazing, they had, just for a second, so they have these crowd control experts, and they were explaining, when one bullet is fired, big stadiums will run out. They call it a stampede, and many people oftentimes are killed. Many bullets were fired. They were going over my head. We lost Corey, the great firefighter, one great guy. And two other people were supposed to die, but the doctors up there were phenomenal, and they saved their lives. We worked with them. But, I mean, what happened was incredible. But the guy comes in, he says, I've never seen anything like this. All those bullets were flying, and you didn't see the crowd out here. It was massive. It was as big a crowd as you'll ever see. I think as big a crowd as you'll ever see. And by the way, we're going back to Butler. You're going to be there. We're going back. That's a big deal. We have a lot of people coming, and I really believe that will be the safest place on earth. And also, I think I'll start the speech by saying, as I was saying, but the crowd control expert said, I've never seen, because they studied, they couldn't see the people here because the camera was here. And we had many cameras, and it was, it was amazing. The whole thing was horrible. But they had the people in the back. Nobody ran. Not one. You probably had like 150 people back there. The big crowd was here, but those people were like locked on television because that's the way the cameras are facing. I mean, the one guy behind me, right? Did you see him? He's up. He was looking to fight. His name is Tom. And I got to meet him. But he was a brave guy. And is he here? He was brave. That's not the one I was talking about, by the way. It's not the one but he was a brave guy too. But everybody up there, they were amazing. I mean, they were amazing. So they did. They had my back. They saw that we were in trouble. Something bad happened. And normally everybody would flee. Nobody, not one male, female, nobody. They just, you could see the anger on their face. They didn't know exactly. They just knew that your president was in big trouble because they saw that happening. And they didn't flee. And they didn't. And can I tell you, these people didn't flee either. There were so many people, tens of thousands of people. They didn't flee. They stood, they watched, and they wanted to know what could they do to help. The people in the front row Joes were there. Some of the front row Joes were there. You were there. And it was amazing. You stood, I watched you. You didn't move. Mr. Wall, I call him Mr. Wall because you can't go wrong, but Mr. Wall stood there. He didn't move an inch. He was like a piece of, and bullets are flying all over the place. And it was an amazing thing to see, frankly. It was real bravery. Rarely, the crowd control person, a real pro, he said he's never seen anything like it. The people, and what they did, a lot of them, were just, they want, the one guy, he just wants to find out. The bullets are going back and forth, a lot of shots. And it was amazing. So we're going to go back to Butler next week, right? Next week. So, good. Going to be a lot of people. And I want to thank the town. They were great. They want to do it. You know, it's become a big tourist site. Can you believe this? It's become a tremendous, cars are riding by there, taking pictures. It's become an amazing tourist site. So, but we're going to be back there, and it's going to be, we're going to celebrate Corey, the firefighter who died, and really the two men that were so badly hurt. And they're better. Those doctors were amazing. The doctors actually saved the two guys. They're great guys, big Trumpers, and Corey was a big Trumper. He just wanted to make America great again, but the two gentlemen, I said, how many people are going to, because it was wall-to-wall people. So when you hear the bullets, you know they're not landing on the ground. There was no ground to land on. It was only people. And they said 3 are probably dead, sir. And 2 of them were very badly hurt. They were brought to the hospital. And these doctors were unbelievable, what the job they did. And so we appreciate the doctors, and we'll celebrate all 3. And Corey in particular, we're going to celebrate. The other 2 are making a lot of progress. They're going to be in good shape very shortly. So, And by the way, I want to thank, while he's here, Mike Kelly. You're the head of the commission, and nobody's going to fool him. There's not going to be any fooling around, right, Mike? But Mike Kelly is the head of the commission, and he's the perfect guy to have. And you've been doing I've been watching. It's been amazing what's happening, and very bipartisan. Even the Democrats are agreeing you can't let things like this happen. And, you know, Joe Biden ought to get up and say, you're threatening a candidate, a former president and a candidate. And if you do anything to him, it's okay. Look, it's a very dangerous business. But Biden ought to say, you do anything to him, we're going to blow you off the face of the earth, and then we're not going to have any problems. Right? But he can't say that. Other presidents would say that. He just can't probably get the words out. But I'll tell you what, if it were reversed, if I were president and somebody was threatening a president, even if I didn't like that person and he was from the opposite party, I would tell the threatening country, you do anything to him, we're going to blow you off the face of the earth. And nothing's going to happen. But we haven't had that happen, have we, Mike? We haven't had that happen. So it makes life a little bit more dangerous, but that's okay. We know what we got into. Kamala pledged to abolish private health care and force everyone onto socialist government-run health care with high taxes and deadly wait times. We've got to wait 6-7 months sometimes. And she even endorsed free sex changes for illegal aliens in detention at taxpayer expense. That's why 5 weeks from now, we are going to tell her, Kamala, you've done a horrible job as vice president. You are the worst border czar in the history of the world, not just our country. We have to make a change. Kamala, you are horrible. Kamala, you're fired. You're fired. Get out of here. Get out of here, Kamala. Go back to San Francisco, Kamala, which you destroyed. Which, by the way, you destroyed. From the moment we take back the White House from Kamala Harris and Sleepy Joe, I believe we're going to have the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. We're going to put our country back together. It's going to go fast. Starting on day 1, I will seal the border and stop the invasion of migrants into our country, very dangerous migrants. We will carry out the largest deportation operation of criminals in American history. We have no choice. We will end inflation and make America affordable again. We're going to get the prices down. We have to get them down. It's too much. Groceries, cars, everything. We're going to get the prices down. While working Americans catch up, we are going to put a temporary cap on credit card interest rates at 10%. People are being made to pay 25%. Temporary ban. We will become energy independent. You know, we were energy independent 4 years ago. We will become, again, first time ever, we were energy independent. We were going to become energy dominant, but now we will be energy dominant like no other country has ever been before. Much bigger than Saudi Arabia, much bigger than Russia. You know, we were in 3rd and even 4th place when I took over. When I left, we were in 1st place, ahead of them by a lot. And then bad things started to happen. We will open Anwar again. I got it done. Ronald Reagan couldn't get it done. Nobody could get it done. I got it. It's probably the largest site in the world. Could be bigger than Saudi Arabia. And we will tap the liquid gold that's right under our feet, and we will drill, baby, drill. Drill. We will stop outsourcing and turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower, which we were in the process of doing, and it won't even be hard. Here is the deal that I will be offering to every major company and manufacturer on earth. We will cut your taxes from 21% down to 15% and give you every possible advantage, but only if you make your product here in America and hire American workers for the job. And if you're a foreign country and you don't make your product here, then you will have to pay a tariff, a fairly substantial one, which will go into our treasury, will reduce taxes. But if you send your product into the United States, that will happen. On the other hand, if you want to build your factory in the United States, there will be no taxes, there will be no tariffs, there will be nothing to pay. So if you build your factory or your plant in the United States, there will be no tariff. And therefore, they will all be coming and they'll be building, and you will be getting so many job offers, and a lot of it's going to take place right here in Pennsylvania. We will pass the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act so that if China or any other country charges us a 100 or a 200% tariff, then we will charge them a reciprocal tariff or tax of 100 or 200%, and we will do it immediately. We were in the process of getting that done, and then bad things happened with a thing called an election. I will not let Mexico, which has taken a lot of your business now, or China, or any other country sell cars into the United States to the detriment of our auto workers, because with what they're doing with electric car mandates and everything else, we won't have any auto workers. The auto workers are going to vote overwhelmingly for me. They have a stupid person in charge of the union
named Sean Fain. The Teamsters have a brilliant person, but the auto workers have a stupid. He's agreed and wants them to build all electric cars. If you do that, there will be no more auto jobs. They'll all be made in China and other places. And I will not allow U.S. steel to be sold to Japan. We're going to fight that. Right, Mike? And I will always protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts, so we're not going to be raising ages. And for 4 years, I didn't. I will stop the drugs and fentanyl pouring in and killing our kids and killing our families. We will crush violent crime and protect all law enforcement, including Border Patrol, ICE, sheriffs, and Secret Service. We will terminate the Green New Scam and spend the trillions of unspent dollars on roads, bridges, real infrastructure, and paying down debt, not fake infrastructure that's caused massive inflation with no benefit at all. I will settle the war in Ukraine, and I will end the chaos in the Middle East, and I will prevent World War III. Thank you. Thank you, folks. Appreciate it. I got a good, lively group back there, right? They're great. They're great. No, they love our country. They love our country. But we will have, again, peace through strength. We had no wars. For 4 years, we had no wars other than ISIS, which I inherited. And we ended ISIS in 4 weeks. That was the end of ISIS. We ended it 100% of the ISIS caliphate. We have a great military, but not the guys that you see on television that have no clue what's going on. But we have the real military is great. And they showed me that. They really showed me that. It was supposed to take 5 years. We did it in 4 weeks. There's a man. Thank you very much. Look at that guy. Thank you very much. That woman. Thank you very much. And I will support universal school choice, and I believe the Lifeline scholarship bill would be a great start for those students trapped in the worst performing schools in Pennsylvania. A lot of people want to see that happen. I understand it. Right? You know that? Oh, you do know that. Good. It would provide financial assistance to empower parents to take their children out of a failing school and send them to a public, private, religious, or charter school. That's really right for them. It's very, school choice is a very big deal. A lot of people don't know that, but it's a big deal. It'll be great. I'm going to take the Department of Education, close it in Washington, let the states run their own education. Very important. Because we spend more money per pupil than any other nation in the world by far. And yet we're ranked at the bottom of every list. So, you know the expression, what the hell do you have to lose, right? I did that with our great, because they've been so supportive. I've gone up like a rocket ship. But they're being hurt very badly by the people pouring into our country. Our African American population, I said, well, you're last on crime. You're being devastated with inflation more than anybody else. You have the smallest percentage of home ownership. And I went through a list of 12 things. This was a long time ago, 2015 when I was running, even before. And I was with a group, and I wasn't doing particularly well with them. And I'm going through this whole list of things. I mean, you're last in ownership, you're last in cash and having money in the bank, last in all these different categories. And I said, vote for me. What the hell do you have to lose? Remember that? What the hell do you have to lose? And my people didn't like it. They said backstage, oh, sir, that was not nice. I said, it is nice. Anyway, I didn't know. I figured maybe I shouldn't have said it. The following day, I went up 12 points, right? 12 points. And today, we're the highest we've ever been with the African American population. We did things that were really incredible for them and with them. Criminal justice reform, right? Took care of the historically black colleges and universities. I got them long-term financing. They were great. We did a lot, and we're doing great with the black population. Hispanic population is like a rocket ship for us, but we have to protect it because the people coming through Kamala, they're coming through the border and they're taking your jobs. Your job numbers are going way up in terms of your unemployment. Way up. I don't know if anybody's seen black unemployment in the last few months. These people they're coming in illegally and they're taking your jobs. Hispanic also. And next will be unions. They're going to have a big effect on the unions. So you guys better get together and vote for Trump. I'll tell you, it's going to be a mess. We will rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., making them safe and clean and beautiful again, because our cities are in trouble and our capital is like a murdering pit. We're going to get that cleaned up and we're going to make it safe and beautiful, and people are going to be proud to go back to our capital without being killed. And we will keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency, because right now, David, it's under siege, and you know we can't lose that. Losing that would be like losing a war, and then we would, in fact, be a third world country. We lose the reserve. But this is how we will end the era of inflation, mayhem, misery under Kamala and Crooked Joe. It was just misery. What a miserable few years. I mean, it's just been horrible. And people all over the world, especially the leaders, are laughing at how stupidly our country is run. Remember, we're the party of common sense. And 95% of it is we're conservative and all that. But whether you're conservative, liberal, we're the party of common sense. So important. But we're going to unleash safety, prosperity, and peace for Americans of every race, religion, color, and creed. Together we will deliver low taxes, low regulation, low energy costs, low interest rates, low inflation, so that everyone can afford things like groceries, a car, and a home, and have money left over. We will stop the invasion, end migrant crime, strengthen our military, build a missile defense shield over our country, keep critical race theory and transgender insanity out of our schools. And we will keep men out of women's sports. Keep them out. We will defend the Second Amendment, protect religious liberty, restore free speech, and we will secure our elections once and for all. Everyone will prosper, every family will thrive, and every day will be filled with opportunity and hope. But for that to happen, we must defeat Lion Kamala Harris, and we must stop her country-destroying liberal agenda. She is a radical left communist, and we cannot have her be the president of our country. We never want that ideology anywhere around, because it doesn't work, and it's been proven 100 times. Remember, early voting is beginning right now. Get going right now. So you must get out and vote. We want a landslide that's too big to rig. We're going to have too big to rig. And on November 5th, we will save our economy. We will rescue our middle class. We will reclaim our sovereignty and restore our borders. We will always put America first, and we will take back our country that we love so much. Together, we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again, healthy again, strong again, proud again, safe again, free again, and we will make America great again. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. God bless you.
All right, so we got to cut that music. As you know, it's looks like Trump went for just about 2 hours, covered a bunch of stuff. hammered home, and I think this is going to be probably part of the winning message. Everything we heard about this border stuff is driving people absolutely bat poop crazy. Nobody wants it. Nobody. They can't defend it. They can't do anything about it. The numbers are what they are. The October surprise came in late September. I'm not sure what she's planning on doing. I understand there's some AI-based tape that they're going to put out there and say Trump said the N-word. Who knows? They may try to install her as president to get a bounce that way. Tell Joe's going to have to resign so they can make her the president. They're going to try anything and everything. But at this point, it's just, she's circling the bull. She is absolutely circling the bull. His dance has changed. She is definitely circling the bull. I don't even know how she's going to be able to. The polls, watch what happens. Over the next couple days, you're going to see the polls kind of just go away. Because the numbers are going to change so fast and so frequently, because between now and, let's say, next Saturday, let me tell you what happens over the next couple of days as we watch him leave the stage, which he's not doing it. Okay, here he goes. He's leaving the stage right now. So over the next week, here's what I want you to watch. And get off the stage, get there safely, go away, and all the guys, they have them secured. Great. You ever notice that big guy right there next to him with the beard? The guy looks like he's the left guard of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's huge, absolutely monstrous dude. Must be his personal bodyguard beyond the Secret Service. But anyway, over the next week, she has nothing she can do. And when I say over the next week, let me just extend that to like October 8th, October 9th. So we're gonna talk about 10 days here. And there he goes. He's off safely. Over those next 8 days, here's what we got. Just to let you know, before we go any further, let me just tell you about this. So his events, we have nothing tomorrow. As of this time, nothing tomorrow. But on October 1st, Tuesday, all hell is going to break loose. I'm going to be busy. I'm going to have to get some no-dose on Monday, and hopefully get through the entire day on Tuesday. On Monday, we have a speech in Wisconsin at 1 o'clock p.m. Then at 4:30 p.m., we have another speech in Milwaukee. So that's 2 events. Then at 9 o'clock, J.D. Vance debates Tim Walz on the same night at 9 o'clock. 3 huge events. That's just on October 1st. Now we're going to go to October 4th, which something may fill in between then. But October 4th, he's got a town hall scheduled in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Then you got the huge return. The return to the scene. Saturday, October 5th. In Butler, Pennsylvania. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 rally type things plus the debate. That's 5 events in the next 5 days. Then October 8th, I believe, 8th or 9th, he's got the town hall with Telemundo. And that Telemundo, Univision, whichever one it is going to be basically to the Hispanic market. She can't touch it. She's getting killed in the Hispanic market. Let me just show you this thing, because as we were talking, this came out. And it was just simply amazing when you look at this number. Okay, so I'm going to follow here. I want you to just follow along. In 2016, when he beat Hillary Clinton took the Hispanic market by 50 friggin' points. 50. In 2020, when Dementia Joe won, he took it by 36 points. Here in 2024, Kamala is only ahead, as they say, by 14 points. I've been telling you guys over and over and over for as long as I've possibly been doing this that the math just doesn't work. It doesn't work. He's up, as you can see. We're actually, I'll say up. He's gained, basically since 2016, he's gained 30 points with the Hispanic market. And so what you have happening is on, like I said, October 8th or October 9th, he's going to go speak to the Hispanic market on Univision. Kamala's going to do the same thing a couple days later, and she's just getting trashed by Hispanics. I mean, just blown away. By the time we get to October 10th, by the time those 2 Spanish town halls are over, she may find herself unable to recover. He's going to hammer home all of this border stuff for the next 10 days. It is the biggest thing out there right now, and she has literally no defense for it. Yeah, no tax on tips. Yes, no tax on overtime. No tax on Social Security. 15% corporate tax. Everything he said, he's burying her. She's basically in a rope-a-dope at this point, trying to figure out how I survive. I think every single one of us expects that come Tuesday night, J.D. Vance is going to deliver a knockout blow to Tim Walz. So, as you're watching these rallies, and some of you guys say, oh, it's the same thing over and over, understand it's different people in attendance. It's different people that he's trying to reach. Every single day, I get more subscribers. That means there are new people. It's new people coming in and saying, well, so tell me more. What's this guy have to say? It's getting close. People are leaning in now. As I mentioned earlier, my wife, her cousin, I guess we can call them our nieces. These are young girls in college, and like, can you tell me what this is all about? Because we heard this, we heard that. They're getting the wrong information, but now intelligent people are beginning to lean in and say, I need to know more information. I heard this. Is it true? No, it's not true what you've been hearing. And now the numbers are beginning to support that. People are also seeing at the same time, this is from Jesse Kelly, Lenin opened a prison so that murderers and those guys could terrorize the Russian population. Americans, Democrats did the same thing with the border for the same exact reason. This is all on purpose. Remember that. Demons lead this country. Not sure if you have a lot of Hispanic friends or associates, but the Hispanics, especially the Cubans down here, they're very, very, many of them are Catholic, and now many of them are also Christian, and they understand what's happening. Remember, many of them came through the front door here, and they understand what communism is all about. They want no parts of that. If you want to spend some time down in Miami and talk to some people who are from Cuba, and you want to talk about how people feel about communism, guess why they're here? They're here because they fleed it. They took off, got in bathtubs, did whatever they could, left it. I got to get out of here. We don't want to have anything to do with it. What do you think they're seeing when they see Kamala Harris? It's a repeat. The movie is repeating, and they don't want any part of it. This came up from Greg Price. I want to spend like 5-10 minutes talking to you about this. It's 4:20. Give me a couple minutes. When she says over and over, and I'm speaking now, I'm beginning to speak to independents. When she says over and over that Trump killed the bipartisan border bill. Number one, Trump is not in office, so he couldn't kill anything. That's the first lie. Number two, it wasn't bipartisan. It was like a couple rhinos that decided they would kind of latch on to this bill to try and save their own sorry asses. But number three, what you need to see what was in this bill that she never seems to talk about. Not one time when she says Trump killed the bill does she ever tell people what was in the bill. Well, here's what was in that bill that got killed. 75% of it was foreign aid to Ukraine, Taiwan, Israel, and Gaza to the tune of like $60 billion. It would have written into law, it would have codified that you can bring in up to 5,000 newcomers per day, or 1.8 million per year would be just carte blanche. Come on, bring them in, 5,000 per day, just off the top. She never talks about that. It gave DHS the power to fast-track citizenship for newcomers already in the country. Did you know that? It funneled millions of dollars to left-wing nonprofits that resettle newcomers all over the country. But of course, you didn't know that. She didn't tell people that. She never... You ever notice why she stopped short? Oh, Trump, you know, he called his people and told them not to vote for it because he wanted to be the fireman that basically started the fire, and he didn't want to do anything. Kamala, what was in the bill? Your completely dishonest media never says that. So it always seems like, you know, she's telling the truth. Trump killed it. None of them ever say, hey, Kamala, what was in this bill? Maybe she's stupid. She doesn't even know. That's also possible as well. You're going to just go nuts over this one. The Kamala Harris, and this is from, you know, Josh Hawley did it. The Kamala Harris administration is allowing newcomers, can't say the word anymore, newcomers to present warrants for their arrest as documentation to board airplanes to enter America. So think about that for a second. You want to come into the country and I got this piece of paper. Yeah, this piece of paper. This piece of paper says I have a warrant for my arrest. I'm wanted. Understand that. You, if you're wanted, and go ahead and try to go through security at the airport and see what happens. I want you to do that. Go ahead and break a window or something, have an arrest warrant, and see what happens if you try to get on an airplane. But meanwhile, Kamala Harris is letting these criminals use their arrest warrants to prove that they're wanted as documentation to get on the planes to be shipped here. You're probably hearing that here for the first time. Nobody wants to talk about that. U.S. Senator Josh Hawley to the TSA director, people who have done absolutely nothing wrong are law-abiding citizens in every respect, are subject to the most invasive screenings at these airports. Yes, you get the butt probe. Yet you're telling me you're allowing newcomers to present warrants for their arrest and waving them onto airplanes. How does that make sense? It doesn't. It's intentional. You are purposely bringing in wanted criminals. Come on in. Come on in. Have fun. This is America. What a country. Come on. When Trump said they're not setting their best, now you have absolute proof. Hey, independents. Any independents watching this? Our two nieces. Did you know that? I'm just asking. Did you know that they are bringing wanted criminals intentionally into America? How you doing with that? See, today I was going after some trolls because I was trying to get some of them to raise their head so I could play whack-a-mole. Because I would ask them that. Is this okay? You know, you're out there trolling for Kamala, probably trying to make a few bucks. Are you all right with this? Are you all right with wanted criminals showing an arrest warrant as their documentation to get on a plane to come here? I'm pretty sure, no, I'm positive that everyone watching this video is saying, hell no. No, that can't possibly be right. Yeah, it is. It actually is. And so, the tweet of the day, I believe it was today. Yeah, it was today, September 29th. The tweet of the day is from none other than Elon Musk. Elon Musk says, very few Americans realize it. If Trump is not elected, this will be the last election. I completely agree. Far from being a threat to democracy, he's the only way to save it. Let me explain. This is good. If even 1 in 20 newcomers becomes a citizen per year, something that the Democrats are expediting as fast as humanly possible, that would be about 2 million new legal voters in 4 years. The voting margin in the swing states, where they are flying people into, is often less than 20,000 votes. That means if the Democratic Party succeeds, there will be no more swing states. That's their plan. Moreover, the Biden-Harris administration has been flying asylum seekers, in quotation marks, who are fast-tracked to citizenship directly into the swing states like Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wisconsin, and Arizona. It is a surefire way to win every election. This was a devious plan. They don't give a shit about you. They don't care about your family. They don't care about your well-being. They don't care about your best interest. The media doesn't care about your best interest. All they care is about power. If they get this power, we're toast as a country. Call it a day. Call it an absolute day. America then becomes a one-party state and democracy is over. The only elections will be Democrat primaries. This already happened in California many years ago following the 1986 amnesty. So they've got a blueprint. The only thing holding California back from extreme socialism and suffocating government policies is that people can leave California and still remain in America. Once the whole country is controlled by one party, there will be no escape. We're done. Everywhere in America will be like the nightmare that is downtown San Francisco right now. You afraid? Should be. Feeling fear? You should be. But we're not done yet. It gets worse. Barry, how can it be worse than that? Well, I had seen this in the chat earlier. Let me look at this. Somebody says that, let me put this up on the screen. Any news on the longshoreman strike? Yeah, there's some news on it. There's some news. And then Mark says most stores only have a 2 to 3 day supply. He's right. Most stores only have 2 to 3 days of supply before the trucks have to come back and bring more stuff. This article that I'm going to show you is from, let's see when this article got posted. Hold on one second. This article got posted couple hours ago. Yes, 3:09 p.m. an hour ago. So I just happened to see it as it showed up. You ready for this? Okay. There's an ad there. Move ad. Okay. U.S. retailers brace for potential pain from a longshoreman strike. And this was at 3:09, just a little over an hour ago. With a dock workers strike threatening to close ports on the East and Gulf Coast beginning this week, Chris Butler is growing worried. Chris Butler is the CEO of the National Tree Company, and like many businesses, his is counting on shipments that are en route from Asia but won't reach their ports before an expected longshoreman strike starting at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time Tuesday, meaning Monday night. Monday night, a day away, everything shuts down. Everything. The company based in New Jersey is an importer of artificial Christmas trees and other holiday decorations. We're just talking something frivolous like a Christmas tree. If a strike were to last just a few days, there might be time afterward to unload the trees, transport them to warehouses, and have them ready for customers this season. Yet, if the strike were to keep the ports closed until, say, November, 30 days, about 150,000 trees might not arrive in time for the peak shopping season, imposing costs on National Tree and other businesses. In a worst-case scenario, those costs multiplied across industries could do what? Fuel inflation and pressure the U.S. economy. You know, inflation, because now there's more demand than there is supply. The basic of economics. Definitely not an ideal situation. National Tree has already stockpiled or delivered most of the roughly 2 million artificial trees it sells each year, but it would lose revenue if 150,000 of those trees got stuck in the pipeline. So my question to you is, There's something obscure like an artificial Christmas tree, and there's 150,000 of them sitting on a ship that can't get brought into the United States. You see, that's a non-perishable item. What happens if there's food stuck over there? What happens if there's toilet paper stuck? How long can you go without toilet paper? And I mean to be facetious with that. But think about it. How long are you expected to go without toilet paper? I'm not going to go through all of the different scenarios again, but I think you're getting my point. You better get to some stores in the next 24 to 48 hours. The news isn't even talking about this. It's like, let's not even bring this up. I watched every morning show this morning. Well, actually, I had them taped so I could go through them very quickly. Nope, nobody's talking about it. Nobody. I don't even know if you're hearing it from anybody else than myself. But now we're at the crux time. We're a little over a month away from this election, and shit's about to hit the fan. It got hit big time with this immigration information, and God forbid this strike is not negotiated away. If this strike happens, and inflation and everything else happens, that's why I said in the next 10 days, this election, I personally believe it's already over. But I think in the next 10 days, you're about to see it possibly go into landslide territory and people losing their friggin' minds. With everything they're doing with immigration, and on top of that, people get hungry or can't get the stuff that they want to get. They can't get gas. They can't get food. You'll get gas. You'll just be paying more. Again, supply and demand is going to take effect. You know, if it's only a week or so, we're going to be okay. Those who can afford to pay more for things, because it's going to go out just by the natural response of people. See, it doesn't have to be a full-on calamity yet, but if people start thinking it could be a calamity, you're going to see people lining up at gas pumps, putting gas in certain places because they got to prepare. What do you think the airlines are going to do if they can't get any gas? What do you think, Walmart and different trucks are going to do? And then they only have a certain amount on hand. And they only can get so much. And then you're moving into late October and early November when the election is. Be prepared. I'm not going to go through it all again. You can look at my video yesterday. You can listen to Trump. He got really dark about things yesterday. By now, you need to see what's in front of you. You need to understand that we're in a seriously bad situation, and it could get ugly. It could get ugly very, very fast. What about all the people in Florida, Georgia, North Carolina that can't vote to hurricane? Yeah, things are going to get really crazy. Civil unrest is coming through Satan and the Antichrist. I could believe that. I wouldn't have, but now I can. If you don't have toilet paper, use washcloths or cut up old shirts. Wow. We got to get to there. Flour, rice, beans, pasta, MREs, bottled water as soon as possible. Again, what I'd like you to do, people are like, Christmas is going to be very dark this time, is not to believe me. See, that would be the worst thing you could do, is like, oh, Barry told me. I don't want to be one of those guys, Barry told me. I want you to start doing your own research. This is your homework. Hey, Barry told me that there might be a longshoreman strike and all the ports might be closed down. I better go investigate this. And I want to investigate it because I'm like, what happens if they're closed for a week? What happens if they're closed for 2 weeks? What happens if they're closed for 30 days? And that way you can begin judging what you need to do in your personal household. Like I said, a week, we're all going to probably be okay. We're going to go to the grocery store. We're going to make sure we got toilet paper and bread and water and stuff like that. 2 weeks, yeah, it's probably going to be more expensive, but we probably can get stuff. 3 weeks, oh shit. Can this thing last 3 weeks? That depends on what the government wants, what stance they want to take. Do they want people running around with their heads on fire? Because I read something that I'm trying to confirm, and the thing I read that scared me was that it said the government and whoever's involved, they're not negotiating. They've decided, no, we're not going to negotiate. Sort of like what they're doing with Putin and Zelensky. Let them fight. It's more money for us. If they don't want to negotiate with the people who want to go on strike, you're playing hardball, and you're putting all the Americans in harm's way. Just so you can see what happens. Do your own homework. Don't rely on me. Don't rely on anybody else. Take as many stories as you can find and make your own decision and then plan accordingly. I'm not here to light anything on fire except for the fact of I want to light your butt on fire to do your homework. It's out there. I mean, let me just show you something. I put longshoreman strike. Let me just show you about how nobody's talking about it. Okay, so let me just go ahead and pull this out as its own window. All right, so here's longshoreman strike, and these are the stories as of right now that are beginning to pop up. We have one from the Washington Post a day ago. This one's 7 hours. This one's 2 days ago. Over here, we have longshoreman 4 hours ago from Fox, NPR 2 days ago, and 3 days ago. So what I want you to pay attention is we have the potential of a huge, huge, impactful strike, and we have 2 articles today. That's it. Nobody's talking about it. You got one on Fox, and you got one from the AP, which I just showed you. That's it. Everybody else is ignoring it. It's like it doesn't exist. Oh, this one's 2 days ago. Oh yeah, could snarl the supply chain and bust your holiday budget. 2 days ago. As strike looms, port operators ask regulator to force dock workers to work. No, can't do that. Strike looms at busiest U.S. ports as 45,000 workers prepare to walk off the job. Dock workers are on the verge of a strike. Here's what you need to know. And that's it. Like, is that it? That's it. Why are they not talking about it? Why are there not like 50 stories about this? Why is everybody not just freaking out? I mean, let's see. You know, Fox Business. I trust Fox Business. Longshoremen union demand total ban on automation. Question is port strike looms. Potential port strike locations. That's basically everywhere. Can you see that map? From Boston to Jacksonville, Miami, Tampa, all the way over to Houston. Imagine all of that just shut down. Baltimore, everything. The entirety there. I can't see the West Coast on it. Let's see what they're saying. On Sunday, it's 85,000 members, along with tens of thousands of dock workers will hit the picket lines Tuesday and strike at all Atlantic and Gulf Coast ports from Maine to Texas. The union is demanding higher wages and a total ban on automation. This is bad. If this isn't true, police community note. If it is true, the federal government should intervene. Outlawing the effective use of technology will unquestionably doom our nation. We will become globally uncompetitive. So you got a major fight here. And there's nobody talking about it. Just all these things happening. What products would be... there's a good article. What products would be disrupted by a port strike? So let's look at this one. What products would be, see if they name it here. U.S. grocery stores could be without popular fruit within weeks if the strike continues. Bananas, what else are they going to talk about here? Oh, beef. Roughly 45% of all waterborne U.S. pork exports and 30% of beef exports were shipped via East Coast and Gulf Coast ports in the first 7 months of the year. The pharmaceutical industry, 91% of containerized imports and 69% contain exports of U.S. pharmaceutical products, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Don't believe me? Go look it up. So anyway, to summarize everything, you got the next 10 days filled with doom and gloom for Kamala because there's no possible way for her to change what's happening. None. There's no more debates except for the vice presidential debate, so she's not going to be able to do that. And everybody is talking about these newcomers and what they're doing and how they got here and how they're basically all murderers and convicts. Not all, but you get my drift. And now you've got 10 days of Trump just killing it, going back to Butler, which will be a huge media event. And then you got the Telemundo Univision debate. She's in a bad way. Why don't we have these things here? I don't know. Oh, because they don't want people doing stuff here. We got to import everything. We don't need imports. We can make it here. They just won't. Carol says dehydrate your meats. Why aren't they talking about not talking about anything? Do you hear anything about them? Yeah, there's surface-to-air missiles that they're trying to take him down with. So it's all happening. So just make a deal. Yeah, if they made a deal, this would all go away. They're going to stop people from voting with their dirty tricks. Who knows? Who knows? I'm sick if the debates are moderated by nuts. Go to salvage food stores. Do everything you need to do. Baton Rouge is in there. Most coffee comes through Baton Rouge. I didn't even think of that. Be careful. That's all. I'm going to leave it at that. And you guys can do your own homework and figure out what you need to do as individuals for you and your family, because this stuff is absolutely nuts at this point. Just crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I wish the best for everybody so that you guys don't get mired down in this. It could be nuts. All right, so I'm going to acknowledge some super chats here and then get dinner and get ready for 7 o'clock for my show, my own show. All right. Elia Arajo, thank you. Big Cat, that's a brother. We love your work, Barry. It's important. Thank you. Ant Hill, thank you. Donation for upcoming subscription service for those who could use some help with it. Thank you very much. Kelly, keep exposing the treasoners. You're my biggest hope to penetrate the truth of the attempts of the deep state. Thank you very much. Just another knucklehead brother. I don't watch CNN, MSNBC, any of them except on your channel. Who could possibly be buying this PS for real? I ask myself that all the time. Who could possibly be buying their crap? It doesn't make any sense. Moshe, liberals equal a projection of what they want to do. Yep. Fern, supporting Trump and not voting means nothing. Go vote in person. Early voting has started in a lot of places. Resetting, apologize if it went twice. I don't have any need for food. Unskilled criminals be pouring into this country. I don't own spinach fields that need picking. Thank you again. Democrats like Buffarillo girls. I think you're talking about the article I showed you where they said that there's a problem because conservative men like hot women. Paige Bennett, thank you. Bootleg Chucky would think Mr. Camel Toe is badly. Thank you, Sharon. Dr. Latina, the Garden of Eden was about 2,000 years ago. The life, mini death, and resurrection of Jesus was 2,000 plus years ago. The Garden of Eden was creation of the world 300,000 years ago. You're absolutely right. I said 2,000. That was Genesis. So that's even. You're right. Dead on. Lori Evans, thank you. John Crawford, left-wing Hollywood has made billions, maybe trillions, selling hot women. Now it's bad news. Yep, because conservative women look better. Ryan, libs want women to turn into Richard Levine. That's your health secretary right now. Bernetta Rivers, keep up the incredible work, Barry. Thank you. Bless your incredible heart beyond measure. Thank you very, very much there. Laura Solari, thank you, Barry. God bless you and your family for keeping us informed. Greatly appreciated. Jeff H. just spent $500 for my home stores. My concern is an attack will disrupt our democracy before November 5th. Hopefully all will pass without incident, and this Thanksgiving will be a blast. Hold fast. Yes, I would love that to happen. I mean, the part about Thanksgiving being a blast. Bruce Rice, does Anchor, I can't even say that word, Karma still want to abolish ICE, or is it that just the perception? No, she still wants to do everything. She has said over and over, my values haven't changed. and as you heard in one of the pieces, oh, she's doing what she needs to do. Just got to say what you got. Just got to get elected. Tamara, thank you. Kamala, you are fired. Go, you lying demon. Barry, you're awesome. Thank you very much. Acid Burn 123. I am so poor. $20 left in the bank. Huh. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm going to show you something at 7 o'clock that might make some of you guys feel better. No name Kamala Harris should have been a baby removal. No name, you're harsh. Again, wish I had kids. Kamala. Mark Cologne, interview former communist from Cuba live. Yeah, I should take a ride down to not South Beach, but to Calle Ocho here in Miami. I don't think I make it to a senior citizen if she's elected. Many of us may not. Wendy Kilpatrick, keep up the good work. I quit watching the news and just watch you now. Thank you and God bless. God bless you as well on this fine Sunday. Leland Hopkins, thank you. Todd Plasick, thank you, Barry and Mods, for all you do. Thank you. Yes, they do a great job. Edwin Mendez, hey Barry, what's the game plan for election day coverage? We have all been a cohort for the last 6.5 months and praying you're hosting the state-by-state tallies and electoral. Yes, big plans. It's gonna do something pretty big for election night for sure. No name again. Thank you. Look at what Democrats and Taylor Swift have done to Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is Tay-Tay's boyfriend who plays for the Kansas City Chiefs, who's had a horrible year. Make a lot of money, though. David Dix, Missouri for Trump. Thank you. Tammy Stinson, Trump Vance. Thank you. Barry, thank you. Tammy. William Ferguson from Canada. As long as I can remember, there has been discussions about making North America one nation. No, it's not a good idea. Mike McCarthy, Austin Barry, my wife and I plan our days around your broadcast. Oh, great. Thank you very much. Lisa King, Barry, will you be doing the dueling town halls between our president and Harris? Okay, those town halls are actually on different evenings, but yeah, we'll do both of them. I think one is on the 8th from Miami. That was Trump. And then on the 10th, it's Las Vegas with Kamala. We will be number one again. Do your own research. Yes, please do your own research. Tricia Whistler, thank you. Just another knucklehead, thank you. Aren't a lot of our port operations run by non-U.S. companies? It's not good. Miss Fabulous, Barry, check out the law that EU pushed through this year. It's called the Corporate Due Diligence Law. It will be very damaging to a lot of the stuff that the WEF and these people abroad are doing. If Kamala signs on to that, or whoever it is that they install, God forbid it, we're done. We're done. Trump's right. We won't have a country. William Flanagan from Canada. In Canada, it's so difficult to even get a gun permit, so we can't even hunt. All that land in Canada, and you can't hunt? Can you fish? Nancy Jennings, what do you think about solar power generators? Yeah, they work for sure. William Flanagan, go Crimson Tide. Alabama played a great game last night. And Greg Doriza, God bless, praying for our country. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. I didn't see what that poll ended up today. Actually, all right. So with the poll, which I'm going to have to take a screenshot of because I got to show that to Ashley and the wife. We have, it appears that, okay, let me just take the screenshot real quick. 4,800 votes about coming to Boca. 4,800. And out of that 4,800, 17% said they're definitely in. So that's a huge amount of people we got to plan for. So we're going to go ahead and pick a date and see which one works for us. Wow. I appreciate that. All right, so 7 o'clock tonight. Please tune in at 7 o'clock. I'm going to be going over how she was embarrassed last night in the Alabama-Georgia game. It's 10:05. I'm going to go have some dinner and get back on here and make sure my board is working. Thank you all for tuning in. Go do your research. Be